Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Nations Championship. This one, the Springboks going head-to-head with Scotland. Two sides that picked up victories in round number one of this competition. And this is actually close to a top-of-the-table clash, with the exception of Wales, who were able to finish just that little bit higher in terms of the differential, but should be a fantastic game. There is currently still England versus Fiji taking place. Another 15 minutes remaining of that contest. The English bouncing back massively compared to their game last week, currently beating Fiji 59 points to the 8. But looking through at the starting lineups, there was a little bit of a late change again for South Africa. Those who remember last week will know that Seo Kolisi as well as Eben Etzebeth, well, they were ruled out with injuries. In this case, Keenan Moody, the late change for the Boks. So that brings in Ethan Hooker for the opportunity as that number 11. But in the front row, Boan Venter, Johan Krobelaar and Wilco Low. Three changes compared to what Rassie had in the game up against the English. Cobus Visa moves into number 4 with Ruan Nokia remaining as the 5. Paul de Villiers at number 6 with Peter Steph-Toy, the captain, back at 7. And Evan Roos comes into the side. He will be situated as the number 8 in the backline, and Bros Papia and Andre Pollard. The Bulls connection, two men who at Loftus have done extremely well at times throughout the URC season. Papia is a bright prospect for South African rugby, and they'll be hoping he can do something big here for his side. From that 9 jersey, there is pressure on Pollard. He didn't finish the URC in the best possible fashion, instead having a couple struggling games, but he is world class when he puts on the green and gold. And you feel like in this type of match up against Scotland, in a battle up against Finn Russell, he is going to be absolutely loving every second of it. Ethan Hooker out on that left wing, like I mentioned, the late replacement for Keenan Moody. In the midfield, Damian Valimza rather than Damian Dialendi, like we saw last week. Jesse Creel plays 13. Edward van der Merwe, who is absolutely world class. He scored 2 tries up against the Barbarians. Speaking of world class, Henry Pollock has currently got himself the double up against the Fijians. He has well and truly proven himself in front of the English crowd. But also in this backline, Apalele Fasi back rearing to go from that 15 jersey there too. We have got in there, we don't wear skirts, brother, says Ulrich. And we have got also hi from Cape Town, says Corky. Welcome and hope you are doing extremely well for the Scottish in this contest. A few changes compared to what we saw just last week up against the Argentines. But it's Pierre Schoolman, Ewan Ashman and Xander Fagerson who make up the front row. Elliot Miller-Mills sadly suffering that injury last week that has ruled him out for the rest of the July internationals. Gregor Brown alongside Scott Cummings in the locking duo with Matt Fagerson, Rory Darge and Jack Dempsey. So identical to what we did see in last week's test match. Ben White and Finn Russell, who does come in for Tom Jordan from that 10 jersey. Jamie Dobie out on the left wing. Sione Tuipulotu and Rory Hutchinson as the men in the centres, with Kyle Steyn out on the right wing and Kyle Rowe at number 15. The big surprises was probably no Darcy Graham and no George Horn for the Scottish supporters, but still a very handy side on paper. And they have to be careful here, South Africa, not to underestimate what this Scottish side can do throughout the match. And then because they don't have a stadium, the seats are mandated amount by World Rugby. I'm sure Fiji is playing in England for money reasons, says Inferno. And also we have Cobus has said be careful. There's a slippery slope for the Springboks B+ team. Going to be close. The Scotland team not to be underestimated. Go the Bok, says Cobus. And I don't think South Africa will be as strong against Scotland today. Most of our squad hasn't played together and it might come into play. And also, are you streaming the McGregor fight? No, but I'll probably end up watching it at some stage later on. Currently 10 minutes remaining in the Fiji versus England match, and England are leading 66 points to 8 in the one that's currently sits. It's Xander and Matt Fagerson brothers, Hamish. They certainly are, yes. And they will both be hoping to have the big games here. Looking through at the benches, both sides have opted for the 6-2 split in this contest rather than going with the 5-3. Grant Williams, who was starting last week, will be playing number 22. We see the return of Vincent Tuchuka, Kieran Horn, and also Untatuku Machunu, all getting the opportunity in the green and gold for this matchup today. For the Scottish, off of their bench, they've got Will Hurd coming in, and that was due to that injury of Miller-Mills. Tom Jordan still finds himself off of the bench with Stafford McDowell, and some handy enough forwards in the replacements later on. But it is going to be a tough day at the office because it's at altitude that this game is being played, so there will be a bit of that factor to have to deal with. Looking through at the way that these two sides shaped up last week. As you can see there, South Africa were able to get themselves the handy win over the English, 45 points to 21, the end scoreline of that contest. And for Scotland, they played the last game of the weekend. That was up against Argentina in Argentina, winning at 47 points to the 38. So Scotland had what you call the highest scoring game of the weekend, whereas South Africa scored the most points in terms of the margin of any side. So two different games, but both knowing how to score points, having a combined 92 from their last round. So there could be a lot of tries here, or we might get the opposite. These two sides playing quite a defensive mindset to try and stop the opposition. The last time that they played in the Rugby World Cup, the score was 20 points to 3. It was a lowest scoring close game. Well, lowest scoring, sorry, not very close, but that might be something we see in this contest as well. We have got there's not a B Springbok team today. We have 23 righteous men who will champion the cause of the people. And where's Hugh Jones? That's a good question. I think is he injured or is he just out? And we have got there Hugh Jones still has Nigel says Johan in there as well, but currently 8 minutes remaining between Fiji and England in what has been the highest scoring game of the weekend. Amos put a jersey on, says PJR. And if Scotland get lightheaded from the altitude at halftime, they might get confused and start looking for the Loch Ness Monster, says Inferno. But if this game is close at halftime, Scotland may just find their next gear, keep this one extremely competitive to the final whistle. I feel like after that game up against Argentina, the one thing that they'll critique about themselves was the amount of tries that they let in. We'll be keeping my eyes on the Wimbledon women's final. 2 players from Czech Republic. I'm sure it's going to be epic, says Sean Watson. And also we have got there 20 points to 3 in the World Cup. With a very strong team, and today the Boks have a much weaker team. Who knows what will happen, says Hanger Rat. And also we get the 18-3 and not 20-3. How dare you? Pardon, 18-3. Sorry, I gave them too many points. Speaking of too many points, England look like they're about to score again here down the wing with Emmanuel Fiawa-Bosso. But do let me know your score predictions for this game. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still sitting a little way away from the kickoff, about 30 minutes or so. They'll have the national anthems firing up in the relatively near future, but it has been a hectic day of international rugby. There is still plenty more that will be happening too. We've still got Argentina taking on the Welsh in the last game of the weekend. When was the last time Scotland beat the Boks, Hamish? Have they ever, says John Mills? It's been a little while since the Scottish have beaten the Springboks. I also want to mention at this point in time as well, there's a scenario which is South Africa have been on a run up against Six Nations sides. And alongside that, this is actually a 9-match winning streak currently for South Africa. So if they were to win this game, they would then bring up 10 wins in a row. Now, that is including matches up against the Barbarians in there, but that one I still count it. Yeah, 10 in a row could be on the cards. What happened to Moody? I assume it's a late injury, but again, it's something that we've seen quite a bit from Russie's sides throughout the July internationals, as players being ruled out late due to changes. And that's one thing that does annoy people a little bit about the early announcement, the fact that players get injured during the week, and rather than not selecting them, they just change it last minute. Do you prefer Pollard or Russell as a player? Says Carlos. I think they both offer very different styles. Pollard, if you're looking for a conservative, kind of constructed game plan, he is definitely your guy. If you're looking for someone to nail a kicking tee in the 79th minute of a game to win you a match, you look at Andre Pollard. If you're looking for that attacking flair and that unpredictability, you look towards someone like a Finn Russell, who can also offer you some decent kicking ability. But two very different players, but also every once in a while they have overlapping links, which is what could make this game so entertaining for the head-to-head. We have there 2010 was the last time never in South Africa, says Kahu. And I think that South Africa win by 20 or more, says Sean Watson. South Africa win, it's in their DNA, says Ulrich. And also, do you think that Scotland can give South Africa a run for their money? I'd like to see this game be competitive, but the reality is this round of the Nations Championship is anticipated to be a lot more one-sided than the first round as a whole. I mean, this game between England and Fiji probably does prove that. New Zealand versus Italy, even though it was close at halftime, did result in a 30 points difference between the teams. Currently, the closest match has been France versus Australia. or Japan versus Ireland. I think they were both separated by about the same amount of points, but we haven't had a game within 10 points yet of this round. And I think that Wales-Argentina is our best chance of that. And no chance for Scotland, says Jan. And go the box, says Rob, and very inexperienced front row for the box today. Hamish, scrum penalties for the Scottish, says John Mills. And that is where someone like a Piers Schoolman really does need to step up. Him and Xander Fagerson, they cannot allow this bot pack to get the better of them, because the thing is, yes, they don't have a lot of experience, but they've certainly got a lot of shove behind them. Boan Fenter and Wilco Lowe, they are scrummaging machines, as many of those South African props are. I wonder how the scrums will go. Wilco Lowe as a third of the scrum. Who's on the other side, says Hangarat. So they have got Boan Fenter, and then Johan Grobbelaar will be between the two as the hooker for this game. We have got there, I saw Moneyman South Africa Rugby Mag's email, as someone asked me a score, and I think it fits. Says Johan, going to be a dirty game, calling it now. Scots will pull it into the gutter where they start getting beaten physically, I reckon. Says Iko JB. How long before the kickoff? Currently, we've only got another about 27 minutes until the kickoff of this contest. It just shows how long the England versus Fiji game was going, because they're only up to 75 minutes in that game, and it still isn't over. Scottish fling coming, says Ruth. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, get those score predictions in nice and early, looking at what is to come for these two sides as well. This Nations Championship, we're in round 2. There is still a round 3, which is happening just around the corner for the South Africans. They will be going head-to-head with Wales in their final match of the July internationals. Then from there, they have got their matches before the greatest rivalry tour. They have a warm-up game up against the Argentinians, which will help prep them well and truly for the test match up against the Kiwis. But in terms of the Scottish, they have got their game that is going to be up against the Fijians. Now, to say that that game is predictable is not true whatsoever. We don't know what Fijian side is going to turn up. We don't know if they'll be competitive or whether it will be a one-sided onslaught like we are seeing at the moment in favour of the English. But still a lot that can happen for these matches. But South Africa currently sit top of the table, or at least they did heading into it. We have got their Kanamudi out with injury. Will be replaced by Ethan Hooker, says ETH. And there you're playing from the left wing for Ethan Hooker in this game due to Moody being ruled out. And Ethan Hooker, anytime that he's put on that green and gold, he has been able to step up to a certain extent. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that man can do again at international level. Have you heard of a Glasgow handshake? I haven't heard of a Glasgow handshake. I've heard of a Glasgow kiss, though. That's a flying headbutt, isn't it? And IH and peeps, it's been a minute. South Africa is 42 to the 19. Says Jax, welcome back. It is fantastic to have you. We're having Funda Merva dropped from this game. Dropped from Scotland's squad in general, it seems. As the only time that we've seen that man in action recently, he was playing for the Barbarians. And then there is Ambros Papia, his first start. Yeah, big opportunity for Ambros Papia. He'll be feeling a little bit more calm, I would think, because of the fact that he's got Andre Pollard as the 10, so he's used to playing with Pollard in the URC. Also, a few other Bulls players in the mix in terms of the forwards, like a Ruan Nokia. And we have I'm not kidding myself on the box, on the best team on the planet. But I hope come on Scotland, says Kelmac. And Scotland have a better chance compared to last time they played the box, says Claus. Hutchison is far better baller than Hugh Jones at the moment. Yeah, playing from that number 13 jersey alongside Sione Tui Pilotu. And versus Damien Valimza will be interesting, because had it been Damien Dealendi, I feel like there would have been a lot of that kind of head-to-head muscling up type of play that we would normally see from those two physical 12s, whereas in this case, Valimza, don't get me wrong, he doesn't try and sway away from that physicality game, but definitely more the technical side of things that we'll see. Maybe a couple less turnovers for the box from that inside centre role, but still a lot of attacking flair on offer here. Again, we have got there Andre said, hi, welcome in. And also we have got there, let's go to the box, says Neo, and also Papia Masterclass today. If Damien Valimza should stay at fullback, he's his better position. And I think that's just a bit of rotation from Rassi, though, giving Fussy the chance at 15. And then they also have Kewan Horn as a backup 15 option, although Horn maybe could be considered as a backup 10 in this game. We did see him play from fly half up against the Barbarians. It's got a toast, says Neo there. And let's go the Bok from Neo in there as well. Come on, people, give Hamish. Give a like there to Hamish, says was Wild Lobster. Here we go again. Hope the Bok can continue their amazing form, and can't see Wales beating Argentina. Yeah, although that game for me is going to be the closest of the weekend. Just because at the moment we haven't had a close game as of yet. England versus Fiji is still going, by the way. They're up to 78 minutes through. There haven't been a huge amount of points scored in most recent times, but England still leading 66 points to 8, so bouncing back big time after their loss to the Box. What we'll quickly do is we'll go like that. And we go like that as well. And Boxer Haggis says John Mills. And also, who do you think is going to win, says Yandre. I think South Africa. I went South Africa by 15 in my preview, but I've been wrong before and I'll be wrong again. It would not surprise me if it's more one-sided or if it's that little bit closer. Tomorrow's news reads England the greatest team in the world, says Juan Pierre. And also, Rassi knows we might lose, but he has a different strategy. He picked a team to lose. Wants to point out some stuff, says Andrea. Is it different? He picked a team to lose. So you're saying he's throwing this game away. He's just chucking out a team and going, oh, well, if they lose, we can blame the players that are out there. Oh, another run from Henry Pollock. He gets a hat-trick up against the Fijians. I'm thinking that the Box will produce a 50-plus score, says Robert there too. We have there able to score the first try within 5 minutes. And there has to be at least one upset every weekend. So either Scotland beat the Box today or Wales beat Argentina. And picked a team to lose as a funny excuse. It's a different one. It's one that we haven't heard too often. And we have got the Henry who? The Henry Pollock with his hat-trick. 71-8. The score now in favour of England. We got there Pollock from Jackson as well. I expect Finn to utilise dummy passes on the Box. Yeah, well, Finn Russell, I always say about it how with Finn Russell's attack, he doesn't even know what he's going to do. So there's no way to be able to predict it as a defending team. What you can do, though, is rush up and try and shut him down. We have got there, he said in an interview that he doesn't mind to lose. He's focused on the World Cup. Says hang a rat. And bollocks, we will kick ass Box, says Jason there. It's time for the Springbok youngsters to show us what they're made of. And disgraceful from Fiji. Yeah, losing this game up against up against the English, 73-8, the end score. This will be the closest game. Argentina will beat Wales well. So here's the real pie man. Yeah, this game beforehand, England-Fiji has come to a close, which means now 22 minutes away from this next game starting up, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who is new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciate you all being here for the build-up of this contest. We still have another game just around the corner, and that is going to be the matchup between Argentina and Wales. That'll close out the second round of the Nations Championship. Now, Russia is definitely experimenting a little, but he won't do that at the extent of losing world rankings are also important, says Jacques. And that's the thing. I think that this is a perfect example of a side that are still good enough to win this game. Well and truly. You know, you look through at the depth that we've heard about over the past 2 years for the South African team. This is, yes, a little bit experimental, but this is still a side that can put the hammer down if they need to. You look through at this back line, it's different, it's unique, but it is not at all average. It's very strong, so... You know, that's why here South Africa could win by 15 or, you know, they could absolutely run away with it or we could be in for a close game. There is a lot that can happen from this matchup and it's extremely unpredictable, which is going to make it a lot of fun. We have got their Finn should do chip overs to counter the Box rush defence and picking a team to lose. It's like what prime ministers do when they promote politicians that they don't like early so they can sack them early. There is a logic to this. Says power bite. And we have got their... 9 months' time, half of Boston will be Scottish and Box by 25. Says good name without Cobus Reinach. South Africa hasn't got a chance. Says Mike Byrne. Really? I feel like, don't get me wrong, Reinach, great player, but Mbros Papia, if he does what he did at the URC level for the Bulls in an international kit, they will be all right. I would think we have got there the way that Brit commentator was swooning over Pollard. So cringeworthy, says Neo. I can't remember what the quote was, but it was something at the end, wasn't it, that he was pretty happy to see. And we have got hello, Ruth, from Caitlin. Welcome in, Caitlin. Hope you are doing well. I know you didn't say hi to me, but you said hi to Ruth, but I still said hi. We have got the Finn Russell as a danger for the Box today. Says hang a rat and get the Box make a bigger score than the English win over Fiji. I think so. Says Joe Mann. No, surely not. What was the split between those two sides? About 65 points. It would be a rough day at the office for Scotland if they lost by 65 points here. Scotland only have 2 South Africans. We have a whole squad. Says Jacques. And also, we have got there, Grant Williams is on the bench. Says Hangarat, yeah, and he is an impact player and a half, whether he plays as a 9 or whether he comes onto the field situated maybe as a winger. Could be the other option. My mum's watching the tennis, so I have to watch here. And we have got there, get it, Peter? And Caitlin, how Scots to give it all. We can field 2 full Springbok teams and win on the same day without or against opposition teams. The Springbok back 3 will tear through the Scots today. And it's Caitlin score prediction, please. Hamish says, Roof, I went South Africa by 15. And I think I'm happy with it. But I don't know if I am fully. Because again, this is a very hard game to be able to judge. And Scotland have been in South Africa 5 times in the past, with the most recent being 2010, someone was saying, but never in South Africa. And hit the box hard in the last 20 minutes and set the tone. What do you think of World Rugby getting rid of the home team, not getting 3+ points in the world rankings? I think it's just a way of keeping it that little bit closer, heading into that Rugby World Cup competition. Hamish by 15, that's generous. Yeah, although I went the All Blacks by 40. No, I went the All Blacks by 50 and they only won by 30. So I've been a bit generous today as a whole. I know Scotland no party, says Cal Mac, and yeah, the box by 15. That sounds about right, but it will probably be scrappy, I reckon. And the Springboks will score 30 points in the in the last 30 minutes. Never going to underestimate Gregor Townsend's ability to screw all this up. You would hate it, Powerbite, wouldn't you, if he was the first Scottish coach to get a win in South Africa? Because then everyone would be singing his praises and you'd be sitting there going, no, I do not like that man. Just had a shower and I walk into my room and one cat is locked in watching the stream. Oh, well, there you go. Well, hopefully... I don't even know how to follow up there. I didn't realise that cats like watching the channel too. They probably don't count on the analytics as a whole. I mean, they'll be a viewer, but I wonder how many people watch these streams with pets. Because pets are smart. Well, some are. Some aren't the smartest around the place, but I wonder if anyone's like pet recognises my voice and is like, oh, it's that weird guy from New Zealand talking at a random hour of the night. I don't know why, but I'm not sold on Boan Fenta. Says, how's it, my brew? And also who you're rooting for, not who you expect to win. I don't really mind in terms of, if I'm being honest about it, I always am of the mindset whoever plays better should win the game. As you said, Hamish, we're weird, says Hangarat. And press to continue, says Corky. And also, where is it being played, Hamish, and who are the match officials? So it is played at Loftus for this contest. And referee is Pierre Brousset of France. Would you be shocked if Scotland wins? I mean, maybe a little bit. But at the same time, I do think that Scotland have been strong enough at times throughout the last 12 months to be able to be competitive in this contest. Wind blows, wind blows, high wind blows, low down with your trousers. What does that mean, Johnny? Love Rugby, says Corky. He's bet against Scotland, Hamish, so either I can get a Scotland win or a win so I make some money. Do you have a pet, Hamish? A hamster at least? Nah, no pet at the moment. I had a cat, but he's dead now, so no cat currently. Yes, my cat has is that Hamish look on her face? Says Jacques. Did I say my cat was currently dead, or did I say just dead? Because, like, currently dead doesn't make any sense, because, like, he's not coming back. Not only science comes like a long way. We have there. Are you thinking the result could be between the Boks and the Scots? I'm thinking Boks by 15 as my scoreline. I'm still sticking with it. You'll notice I'm being strategic and not saying how many points each side are going to score. I'm just saying 15 in general. And that's purely because I'm too indecisive. Hamish is the closest thing to Henry Pollock. No. Imagine no. I was going to say, imagine if England make the World Cup final and I showed up to that stream with bleach blonde hair and a headband on. I think I'd get crucified. And Stephen must feel foolish for benching Pollock, says Lisa. And we have got there, really need to sort out the Speedo story. It's your lucky outfit for the Boks, says Inferno. And watching the UFC later, I'll probably give it a look, although I might be sleeping during the start of that one. I'm just looking through. I mentioned about the Boks hectic schedule a little while ago. Looking at the upcoming games, ladies and gentlemen. Now, that game up against Argentina is actually now taking place in 4 weeks' time rather than 5. That will be the warm-up game for the greatest rivalry tour, where they take on New Zealand 4 times in a row. going back to those old school test match talk type of occasions there. Then they play the Australians. So, 6 matches up against rugby championship sides, although 4 of which are up against the All Blacks. Then in the November internationals, they will be taking on the Italians, the French, and the Irish. Now for Scotland, they will be going head-to-head up against New Zealand, Australia, and Japan. So plenty still to come for the Nations Championship. And with Scotland sitting right in second place currently, they could still potentially, or now they'll be third because Ireland got the boost. Yeah, they can still potentially find themselves through to a maybe semi-final or a final of that Nations Championship playoff stage. Chance of going on to win it all. Your voice soothes my cat's emotions. You are effectively my cat's comfort animal. Says Power Bite there. And get a hoodie on, Hamish. It's past midnight. It's cold too. It's actually quite frozen here. Currently, we're sitting -1 degrees Celsius. And that's actually kind of warm compared to what it was earlier. It was -2 before. And we have got there. My dog came back with the neighbour's cat in its mouth. Poor thing. His eyes were bulging out of the sockets. That's a brutal story. We have got there. Russell was a danger man. Interested to see how South Africa deal with him. And also Ireland and Scotland always be sat us Scots, or beat us Scots by at least 15 points, says Power Bite. And South Africa to win, says Juan Pierre. And we are currently only 13 minutes away from the kickoff of this matchup. It is absolutely flying by. These two sides going head-to-head for the first time since 2024. No, sorry, 2025. We actually saw it last year as well, I believe. It was in the November internationals. And only brutal for the cat, says Hang a Rat. Pollock for Player of the Year, says Ruth. Can you imagine the outrage if that was to take place? But do let me know, not just your score predictions here, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to know who you think will score the first try in this matchup. The exact player putting on the upstairs TV for my animals to watch your stream whilst I drive to the airport in an hour. No pressure, Hamish, says Inferno, so I will try my best to keep your pets, I guess, entertained and calm. Although I'll probably tell them to prank you as soon as you leave as well. Your house must be warm. Nah, it's actually not, which is a slight shame. I'm just pretty much embracing the cold. My hands are not a normal color. Like, at all. They're kind of like, I don't know whether you see, they're kind of like purple at the moment. -1, I told you to put on jersey, says PJR. And we over there, Cape Town, 18 degrees Celsius, says Corky. And that's probably considered relatively cold, isn't it? And Krobala is a great goalkeeper, says Calmac. I never told the neighbours. They must be wondering what happened to the cat. Says other side of the fence. Wow, that's a nice story. My cat scratches the snot out of my 2 weeks ago. She was fighting with another cat. Then they lost their minds. My uncle asked. We had a lion in the garden. And Moody for the first drive. Moody's been ruled out. So now Ethan Hook is out on that left wing side. But he is definitely still a decent option. Someone said he did well Fundamerva. I think that Fundamerva scores in this game. Just in general. With the skill that man brings. In fact, we're going to have a quick look. In terms of the levels, I guess you could say. So Scotland come in as big underdogs. They're expected to lose by about 17 points. That's the rough margin that they're expecting from this contest. But yeah, Kane and Moody, they haven't actually changed the fact that he's not playing. He is the most likely to score, but he's not actually out there for this contest. So he becomes the least likely to score now, I would say. We have got their Fundamerva, says Ruth. And also we're having a summer day like never before now. And here I sit indoors for the game, says Juan Pierre Bosch. It'll be a good day for a braai, that is for sure. 18 degrees in Scotland today, and that's plenty, says Cal Mack. Now 10 minutes from the start. Rugby talk, no cat talk, yes, says Inferno and Jamie Doby. And the thing is, with this competition, something that we have learnt already is no one waits long to score a try. Every game has had a try within the first 10 minutes. Most games have had a try within the first 5. And I feel like this one's going to be the same. Papier scores first. There's Ian. But yeah, you just get that feeling like a quick fire start will either make or break this game. First try, Rory Darge. Oh, Gregor Brown says Jax. I love you, Hamish, says Sash. And the box by 24 says Mr. D. But they are showing Loftus is looking like a beautiful evening in South Africa. Hopefully no rain in the forecast for this contest. We have 2 teams that can win a World Cup. I'm not too worried, says Jux. We have got there, thanks, Bruce, says Hanger Rat. And also we're going to come to Nordhook, big screen, and the bars are open, says Corky. And Disco Light says 1 beer, and suddenly the spammers are here. That's how you know it's a big game. When it's a big matchup, you always see the random spammers. We have got there, the North are crushing us Southerners, says Sash, and the Bok Machine, says Goodnan. But close to the kickoff of this matchup, South Africa currently sit the top of the Southern Hemisphere table, or at least they did at the start of this round. And that is where they would love to stay throughout the majority of this competition, if not all. And with an answers on the field, I actually have no idea, but there's quite a few of them out there on the park. They are wearing Scottish attire, but with a South African flag on the kilt. And we have got there, our young blood will run right, says Eldrick. I played varsity rugby at Loftus in July. It's a cold, hard place to play. After 20 minutes, it feels like you're breathing lava. And Italy crushed New Zealand. Not quite. First half was very close, though. Italy kept it very nicely and competitive. But then by the end of the game, New Zealand won by 30. We'll only lose one game to the All Blacks this year. We'll be close. The others not so much, says Jacques. And we have got there, Ethan Hooker will score first and praying for Wales to be back on top. And the winter is incredible. Cold breeze from the pole, but sunny and warm during the day. But once again, we will look through at what we saw in round number 1 of this Nations Championship competition, ladies and gentlemen. We saw the Boks get themselves the emphatic win over the English, winning that contest 45 points to the 21. Scotland beating Argentina in Argentina with the 47-38 scoreline. It is probably regarded as one of the more back and forth games that we saw of, well, actually, no, that's a complete lie. Every game was back and forth to the majority of the extent. But it was the unpredictable game that Scotland-Argentina won. Either side had a chance to win it multiple times, but Scotland just got better as the match did wear on. For South Africa, though, up against the English, they started with an absolute hiss and a roar. They were flying, scoring points every single time, but then there was that yellow card. It slowed them down a little bit. A lot of empty seats. There's a real pie man, which is something you're not used to really seeing for a South African game. I do see that Scotland, they are having Finn Russell lead his side out onto the field because this is the milestone game for him. That's not Finn Russell. That's a big fault. That's Rory Sutherland for his 50th cap. I can only apologise for Finn Russell for thinking that was him. We have it there, Scotland win by 20 points. I'll eat haggis, says Inferno. It is 9 degrees and no rain currently in Pretoria. And we have their Fundamental to score the first try. I played school rugby at Loftus against Alfies and Waterkloof. And 12 degrees here, says Sash. But now Scotland making their way out onto the field. Enemy territory here. They have never won in South Africa, but they would love nothing more than for the first time to be in this Nations Championship. The power of rugby is in Europe, so glad South Africa are a part of it. Australia lose to France is proof, says Goodnan. I was just thinking if you did, you can invite them for tea and just wait for them to realise. But the Scottish, they are looking like they're going to be wearing that lilac strip for today. The Springboks, of course, going to be wearing that classic green and gold. Come on, South Africa, let's have a great win, says Paul Black there. They would love nothing more than to back up what they did last week up against the English, extend upon it with 10 changes in Rassi's starting lineup. And what happened to Moody? I see Hooker is in, so it's just a late injury, I believe, of Ethan Hooker. Speaking of injuries, of Kane and Moody, a bit of a calf tweak for one of the Warriors who run out onto the field before the game. I saw it on social media that man hurt himself, had a bit of a slip. But it looks like he's all right now, but he's definitely not running out onto the field now. He knows not to try and go for those jumps anymore. We have got there, what are the current standings? On this side of the draw, New Zealand are sitting number 1, and then South Africa are sitting number 2. But New Zealand have played that extra game in hand, so that is why they are sitting in that top spot. But if South Africa win this contest, they will go straight back to number 1, more than likely due to the differential. Is Kane Moody out? He is. No Kane Moody for this game, and instead Ethan Hooker will take on that left wing jersey. How many World Cups Europe got against this sock? Is South Africa shocking for attendances like when the Rugby World Cup was there, says other side. And good evening, Hamish. Hello from Kazakhstan. Go the Bok. And Peter Stiftatoy will lead this side out onto the field. So I wish I could have been there at Loftus now, says Brian Lee. And we have there 5 minutes ago, says Corky. Yeah, we are close to the start of this matchup as the Boks make their way out onto a loud Loftus field. How quickly are we going to see a try? I mentioned in this Nations Championship, it's always early that we're seeing the first one. Twickenham is very expensive. Yeah, but they seem to fill it up each time, the English. Peter Steph in charge of this team. The absentees of no Sia Kolisi, no Eben Etzebeth, no Cheslin Colby, no Damien Dearlinde. A lot of experience that isn't out there on the field, but they have got Andre Pollard back at the helm in that number 10 jersey. What type of tactics are we going to see from the Springboks side? And Bros Papier getting the big chance to start here too, alongside his Bulls teammate at Loftus. Doesn't get much bigger than that. As someone who lives in South Africa, may the best team win, says the scribe. And Hooker has not played for months. I should have played Kirtley Ardenson or Colby. Yeah, although it wouldn't be unheard of for him to come back after a long layoff to make his way out there and have a big impact. We actually saw that injury of Ethan Hooker in the URC. It was a massive shame, as it seemed like he was going to be out for longer than this. As someone who lives in South Africa, may the best team win, and within 5 minutes, Pollard scores a try. Wouldn't that be quite something? If Pollard was the man who crossed the try line first, with all the criticism there has been going around about his Bulls performances, I think the Scottish will score first, and this will be a battle for this Box squad. And also looking forward to this as a Bok fan. It's safe to say 50% or more of your fan base is South African. I think it's about 27% of the numbers on the channel. Maybe. Or maybe 30%. Somewhere around there, I believe. That's probably why South Africa don't get any more World Cups. Empty seats are a bad look. Says other side of the fence, but they are currently doing the rendition of the Scottish national anthem. And we will have the South African one in front of the home crowd. And then we are underway for another match of the Nations Championship. If you haven't already, let me know your score predictions in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thinking close, or at least it's either going to be low scoring and close, or it's going to be high scoring and hectic. Those are the two options here. As South Africa living in Sweden, listening from Norway today. Thanks for keeping us connected with the boys in green and gold. No worries at all. And anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are here each and every week. We've got the game next week for South Africa up against the Welsh. That is also going to be covered on the channel too. I reckon our weekend special fussy will score the first one, says Kim. And be a good 2 weeks of rugby. Or been a good 2 weeks. Yeah, we've had some close games. This round hasn't been so close, sadly. So I would love to see one go down to the wire. So the people Hamish background, not Loftus, real Loftus, fully packed. Almost fully packed. There are a few empty seats down each end. But outside of that, they've done very well with the attendance numbers for this matchup. But the South African national anthem is being sung. We'll look through at these front rowers for the South Africans. Major changes. No Oxenshire in this matchup. No Malcolm Marks. But instead, Boan Venter, Johan Grobelaar, and then Wilco Lowe slotting in as that number 3. So Thomas de Toy also absent from the Springbok lineup. Cobus Reinach. Cobus Visa at 4 with Ruan Nokia slotting in at 5. Paul de Villiers, Peter Steph de Toy, and Evan Rus make up the loose ball trio. To me, that says they're going to be aggressive in the breakdowns. Those 3 men can jackal and steal the ball multiple times throughout an 80 minutes. Paul de Villiers himself normally steals it multiple times as well. And Bros Papier and Andre Pollard, the Bulls connection, adds the 9 and 10. Damien Willemse in the midfield alongside Jesse Creel. The late inclusion of it was Ethan Hooker out on that left wing rather than Kainan Moody. Edward van der Merwe, the try-scoring machine. And then Apalele Fassi at 15 for this match. We have got there Scotland is strong, but I don't think they'll be strong enough to survive the box, says DMX. And we have got there Pollock is the bomb, says Ruth. And similar to as Box versus England, I say Box 32, Scotland 14, afternoon Hamish. So welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Hope you're excited this game. It seems like it's a little bit similar to the last match. How will be about a 1 or 2 minute delay before they start up, but we are very close now to the opening moments of this contest. Can't be South Africa, or can't be South Africa have the best anthem, says Heaney. And sorry, mate, I have to mute you for this beauty of an anthem, says Simon Barnes. I am not one bit offended, and I can tell you right now, if I tried to sing it, it would sound nothing like they were singing it there. It was a nice rendition. So 30% of South African viewers, 80% of comments are from South Africans. Says a real pie man. But Peter Steph de Toy played lock last week due to those late reshuffles that the South Africans had to deal with. But he is back at his home of 7. And he will be wanting nothing more than to just put on an absolute clinic. Kiwis aren't going to like this comment, but he'll want to put on a World Cup final type of showing. Peter Steph for this game. Second will go like that. We will go like that as well. We have got there, Valimza at 12 is going to be fire. It shows a bit of an extra attacking mindset, you could argue, because of the fact that normally we would see, Damien Dealende, who is a crash ball specialist. He can do extremely well. But Andre Pollard as the 10, I feel like Russie's trying to balance out that midfield so that he's still got that attacking threat of Valimza on the outside. And how the Argentinian anthem is hype. I think Edward van der Merwe will score first, says Robert. And Valimza at 12. And also, I'm going to stick a draw. Ooh, I don't think anyone has called for a draw as of yet. They're talking about the changes for the box. They had 10 changes. When is Khaleesi coming back? I don't think he'll be a mile away. Sio Khaleesi. Hopefully, we do see him in the relatively near future. But Apalele Fasi, at 15 for this game. Jesse Kriel, he is the man who keeps his spot in that back line. And then off the bench, some real firepower in the equation as well. But all eyes are on the start of this contest. Funny how people think Scotland equals Braveheart, when just about the only thing that from that movie is that William Wallace existed, says Justin. And also, if we're playing in Murrayfield, I'd have more hope, says Calmac. But referee in charge of this one is Pierre Brousset. And Kriel the Iron Man, he will just go for the full 80 minutes. Finn Russell versus Andre Pollard. South Africa versus Scotland. We're ready to go. Pollard kicks us off from right to left. And another match of the Nations Championship has started out. First touch for Gregor Brown as he's tackled by his opposite number, Kobus Vesa. Inside of their 22 at the moment. Scotland wearing that bright lilac, like I mentioned earlier on. Ben White looking towards the sideline and does boot it well and truly into touch, leaving no chance of that Springbok counter-attack. How's it, Hamish Green from Namibia? Always a pleasure listening to your commentary. Keep well, bud. Says Bruno, thank you very much for being here. It is thoroughly appreciated. And this match is going to be an absolutely awesome one, with hopefully plenty of entertainment. Thrown in by Johan Krobala. Overthrown for the first line out of the day from the Springboks, and the counter-attack now for Scotland. Moving away to the left-hand side. Dobie drawing past out to Kyle Rowe. Almost accidental obstruction there from Scotland. Ben White fires the short ball. They want to put the box under pressure early here. Scotland, they cannot afford to take the backwards step. Ben White back to the right again. Finds the hands of Sione Tuipolotu, dragged down by Evan Rus, as well as Boan Fenta. Now Rory Darge, the vice-captain of the Scottish team, driven backwards by Peter Steph, as well as Nokia. Away to the left, skip pass from Finn Russell, out to Kyle Rowe, trying to bump off Jesse Kriel, straight in there. Was Ethan Hooker, couldn't get the turnover. Ben White crossed to Ferguson again. Good tackle by Paul de Villiers as he manages to roll out of that breakdown in time to not be penalised. Now Sione Tuipolotu. Let's hit it up again. This is a good phase play at the moment from the Scottish. They have had more of the possession throughout this first 90 seconds of the game. Now, big run from Cummings. Straight at the two props, Wilco Lowe and Boan Fenta. Xander Ferguson pops it in behind. Wide cutout pass from Finn Russell again. Ewan Ashman bumps over the top of Andre Pollard, close to the sideline there. And it will be the penalty for the extra roll going in favour of South Africa. What a start, says HDB. Yeah, if that first 2 minutes is anything to go by for this game, it's going to be a hectic one because there was hardly a stoppage throughout those first moments. Now Andre Pollard ready to kick this one towards the sideline from within his own 22 and does get plenty of distance on it with the lack of angle on offer for Andre Pollard there. And now that was a bunt, says Johnny. And just curious to see how Andre performs in the green and gold after extremely meh at the Bulls. But the thing is, there are many players who, as soon as they put on that Springbok kit, they turn into superstars. We've seen it time and time again. You look at the Sharks. They have all the Springboks in the world in that Sharks environment, yet they don't turn it into titles. But when they wear the green and gold, they become world champions. Rolling maul here for Scotland, shaping up quite nicely with Johan Krobala at the back, although Scotland managed to hold it in. Is it stuck in there? No, Pierre Brousset says it's available for South Africa. Damien Valimza. Now away to the left-hand side again, and Bros Papier popping the ball up was Johan Krobala. Bros Papier moves it across to the right. Boan Fenta tackled by his opposite number, Schoeman. And a penalty awarded to Scotland, this time straight in off the feet. And Scotland penalty, says Hanger, and Ethan Hooker is earning his money today, says Hanger. That is in off the feet penalty going against, I want to say it was Wilco Lono. In fact, it was Loftus Versfeld this time who has been pinged. So Finn Russell now has the opportunity to kick this one down and into touch. But again, Scotland cannot stop this aggressive mindset. They have to play attacking rugby the whole way through this game. They can't really even opt for threes, I don't think. I feel they have to go for sevens time and time again. But yeah, Loftus Versfeld just never quite staying on his feet there, collapsing in the breakdown and sealing off, stopping Scotland from getting the chance to take that turnover. The Scots will have, they have 20 minutes to make an impression. And the air runs out, says Hanger Wrap. This one's going to be thrown in by Ewan Ashman. Front of the line outtake from Xander Fagerson. And the rolling ball now set for the Scottish. This one slowly shuffling, and that's going to be side entry advantage going against South Africa. Sione Tuipulotu thought about the inside ball, but well shut down. And the tackle with better Steph Toy. Still under that penalty advantage. Cross kick attempted by Finn Russell. Both men going up for it. Comes down, staying into touch. Will be now the penalty again for the Scottish. A few penalties in the early stages of this match for these two sides. How long you been going for now? 12 hours, says Ruth. Our first live stream started about 11 hours ago. Somewhere around there, a bit longer than that. But we are still going strong. We've still got another game just around the corner too that we are going to be covering on the channel between Wales and Argentina. And Scotland, they are going aggressive here. They are looking towards the corner and hoping to get a big moment early that throws the box off their game. But Loftus Versfeld has already been penalised twice in this matchup. One for in off the feet and the second one for side entry. His brother Jasper not playing in this contest. Versfeld has to be very careful with that discipline. Rolling maul chance for Scotland 5 metres out from the line. And stolen by better Steph Toy, although it's a knock-on. And it's a knock-on from Evan Russ as well. A comedy of errors, says Hanger at. Yeah, a few early mistakes. You get him bundle up with Robert. The Bruce says it was other side, and maybe making 10 changes on the box side was not the best idea, says Marius. Although sometimes it would take that little bit longer for them to be able to gel. Oops, wrong button. But at the same time, I don't think it's all doom and gloom here as of yet for South Africa. Still early on, and they haven't conceded as of yet. Now they're getting close to conceding with where Scotland are on the park. Looking a bit tired, Hamish, says Caroline. Or it was Carol Ann, sorry. We have been up for quite some time, but we've still got another game around the corner, and I'm sure this one will keep us awake throughout the 80. And there was a Wallace. He led the Scots to a victory. Oh, no, sorry. They're actually going to call this as a South African scrum. How's that ended up happening? After Peter Steph knocked it on in the line out. I assume they're saying maybe it was off Scotland's hand first, then to the other knock on, but Mros Papia 5 metres out from the line gives that one a big hoof downfield at Loftus. And a very nice strike to get it into touch. We have you there, so soft and mumbly. For Scott Berger. He definitely is. Glad his first game in South Africa was a clear defeat. Just a shame he didn't get as flattened as I'd hoped, says Youngko. Rasi not looking happy at all at this point in time. He seems like well, to be fair, his side have made a few mistakes early on. A line out not straight. I thought that too, but yeah, I think it might have been a knock-on first from Scotland, then the South Africans. Going away to the left-hand side now. The run for from Jamie Dobie, long way off his wing, looking for the steal and the breakdown. But wasn't able to get it there for Evan Russ. Low tackle by Paul de Villiers. A few players really looking for those jackal opportunities here for South Africa, looking for that all-important possession. Finn Russell back in the pocket. He kicks this one up high, chasing it after. It is Kyle Steyn, knocks it on, picked up by Pollard, 40 metres from his line, and an awkward fall there for Pollard, who is either looking to fire this ball back or he's grasping at his knee. We're about to find out in the wide camera angle. Okay, Pollard is back up. He was just firing the ball backwards, but that could have been a big concern with already having Sasha Feinberg-Zulu out with his injury. Losing Pollard too would be disastrous. How do you manage to, or how do you remember all the names? I think I've just done that many matches that they just roll off the tongue now. And Bros Papier, Goes for another big box kick, chasing after it as Edward van der Merwe. Ruanokia also getting there. Finn Russell, brilliant hustle. That wasn't supposed to rhyme. But the ball is on the side of Scotland. I think Ruanokia is calling for a knock-on, told to use it again for Gregor Brown. And ball is available for Ben White, who again will look to kick this one downfield. Takes 3 business days to get the ball out, says Hangarat. Kicked up high, White. Chasing after it again is Kyle Steyn. He's gone up for a lot of balls, but he hasn't actually caught too many. As of yet, coming down with it was Handré Pollard. Papier across to Johan Grobbelaar. A couple of men who are very familiar with this Loftus turf. Up a Lilifasi. Now he will go with the boot. Off of his left, it's contestable. Slapped back by Ethan Hooker. That looked like a knock-on from Scotland. Play on is the call. Ben White. Cross to Pierre Schoeman. Now Finn Russell shaped to kick, but instead fires it out a little bit wider. Nice run there from, it was the fullback, Kyle Rowe. Now Steyn, cutting back in off the wing. 40 metres from their own line. Currently big driving tackle by Pieter-Steph du Toit and Wilco Lowe. A little bit of a counter ruck there too from Pieter-Steph. Scotland are more than holding their own early, says Johnny. But yeah, it's whether or not this leads to something for the Scottish. This is the longest we have gone in a Nations Championship game where we haven't seen a try. Pieter-Steph du Toit has been busy in the early stages alongside de Villiers as well as Evan Roos. They might be able to get that counter-attack going at some stage, but for now the Boks have the ball. Oh, ball ripped away. It looked illegal. Yep, and penalty will be awarded to South Africa. And being taken by Wilco Lowe has to suck. And hi, everyone, says Tanya. And your opponent, you don't know it. Says John there, and Scotland have the ability to compete as at the set piece. Did you keep it tight with the penalty, says John. Now, Handré Pollard has some free meterage that he is able to work with, kicking it downfield towards the 22. The tempo straight away is something that I'm noticing from this game. Neither side are slowing down. And you have to wonder at altitude. That is something that could hurt in the long run. South Africa trying to find the rhythm together. Says Hangarat, and how's Hamish says Sakele, welcome in. Only 10 minutes through this fixture. Johan Grobbelaar now with the line-out throw. Got a little bit of tape already on the nose. Johan Grobbelaar must have taken a knock a little bit earlier on. Pieter-Steph du Toit claims that line-out. Oh, Pierre Brossard's knee just gave way. But it looks like he's going to be all right to be able to continue on. And Ambroise Papier passes off to Pollard. 10 metres out from the line looking for the steal, Rory Darge, but his player didn't roll away, so it's a clear penalty advantage in favour of South Africa. Pieter-Steph du Toit now passes away to the left-hand side. In fact, no, he's going to take it on himself there for du Toit. Nice work from Xander Fagerson to be able to get the steal. They'll go back for the penalty. This is the easiest 3 points that South Africa will have today. But the question is, do they go for it, yes or no? Or do you look for a scrum? You got Handré Pollard out there on the field. He's normally as safe as anything off a kicking tee at international level. Pieter-Steph du Toit, though. What do they decide? I think I just saw that. They're going the scrum. I can't watch this game. Or I can watch this game, but prefer live stream sometimes. Says other side of the fence. And line out says Marius. Now, yes to the scrum call, says Youngo. So they have decided they want to go aggressive right from the early stages, because if they can put a little bit of water in the basement, as they always say, that can then start filling up slowly and then eventually could lead to Scotland getting themselves a yellow card at the scrum department. Love the accent, says Diana. Thank you very much. I guess I crafted it myself. You know, when people are like, oh, thanks, I grew it myself for their hair. I tried to do that, but then I pulled out halfway through. Take all the points Scott's going to play, says Marius. Or sorry, says Mattis. As scrum, our power is there, says Hannes. But now, Ambroise Papier to feed this ball. Oh, I thought for a second Pierre Brossard was going to give a free kick. If points are available, take them, says Stefan. And I can go the other way. Hamish says John Mills. It certainly can. Pierre Schoeman is known for being a bit of a sizable individual. And they will have to scrummage their hearts out here, the Scottish. I'm a human scrummer. I weigh 130 kgs. We did see the scrums very even in terms of pack weights, 898 compared to 896. Just a very narrow advantage to Scotland when it comes to the weight. As Cheslin Colby playing, he is not. Which does mean that Pollard will be the man in charge of the kicking tee. But the scrum now. Ambros Papier, the ball has come in. Oh, it was holding strong, but then the second wind hits for the Springbok scrum. They've got the penalty advantage. Pollard knocks it on. And the referee says play on. Interesting. So this one's going to be starting to go towards the sideline. It goes out and they'll go back for the penalty. Now, they've got themselves their first scrum advantage. They held strong for a while there, South Africa. What they did, which was quite an interesting tactic, but it is something they have used time and time again. The scrum set, then it held, and then the push came in. That set the Scottish backwards. Pollard having a long conversation here. Are they going to take the scrum? Pierre Schoeman's watching on with anticipation. They call for the scrum again, the box. We have the AB started slow, but ran away with it in the second half and scrummed them, says Sakele. And De Pollock play against Fiji just now. He did it. He got a hat-trick in that contest. 3 tries off of the bench for Henry Pollock. But 14 minutes into this contest and already that scrum is becoming one of the key features of the way that South Africa want to play in this matchup. And now, Ewan Ashman having a conversation there with Pierre Schoeman. The question is, when is that extra push going to come from the box? And is it going to catch Scotland out twice in a row? And Bros Papier, this one's situated right in front of the post as well, so they can go away to the right or left off the back. They can also use Evan Roos. Holding on, Scotland, big scrum this time, but they get pinged for the free kick. Now Ambros Papier, taking it quickly, goes off to Evan Roos, who throws himself at the opposition line. Ambros Papier looking away to the right. Let's find the hands of Kobus Wesa. Now right again, out to Boan Fento, who runs it at Schoeman. Seems like the plan is to just keep on going right, but I feel like soon we're going to see them fire it out towards Edward van der Merwe unless they don't need him. There's a headstand going on here. It's a hard one, but they've held him up, Scotland. Brilliant work to stop Ambros Papier. Just didn't quite have the size to go alongside it. Great defence from Dempsey. And Scotland survived. In fact, it was Johan Robela. In fact, who did try and go for that pick and go and got himself slightly trapped next to the breakdown. We have got their nom, Cisco story. And Scotland losing weight in this heat. Says Calmac. It will be the goal line dropout for Finn Russell, and you would assume that he will look to sink this one down far. Well, no, in fact, a little bit of height on this Finn Russell drop kick down towards the 30 metres out. Now, Evan Roos colliding there with Pierre Schoeman. Bros Papier back across to the right-hand side again now. Some of these forwards, the only way they notice is just attack. And Bros Papier, quick off the mark. Massive acceleration from the Springboks 9. And he would have definitely been planning that one. He has scored the try in front of the Loftus crowd. The acceleration off the mark. It was one half wrong step from Scotland that led to Ambros Papier feeling like he had the pace to be able to break through and just straight off the mark, just that little half shuffle. And then from there, Kyle Rowe was never getting close to him when Papier showed off that full speed ahead and scoring the early try, and Rassi celebrating it big time in the coaching's box. He actually gave Tony Brown a bit of a tap on the back there. That was obviously something that was in the tactics. That's the best 9 try I've ever seen. Is it? It was, don't get me wrong, it was a good one, but best ever is a bold statement right from the get-go. But the early try in this contest to South Africa, not as early as the other Nations Championship games. Finally, we have had a game that has had 10 minutes without a try in it. But Ambros Papier just taking off, steps around Xander Fagerson, got past Matt Fagerson too. Those brothers will be not having a fun family dinner later on, thinking about that one. And what an individual try, says Ian there. And Papier is also very quick across the ground, helpful. And also the early minutes still says Hangarat. It's kicked off high from Finn Russell, chasing Artesione Tuiapolotu. That's illegal, or at least it looked that way. I don't know whether or not you're allowed to do that, but they say play on. Kobus Wesa pumping his legs, goes off to Paul de Villiers, and this is going to be a counter-attack again. We'll come back to what happened just before, but the Boks are bulldozing towards the 22. Scotland are in retreat mode out wide to Ethan Hooker. Bros Papier going off now to Damian Balimza, short ball out to Paul de Villiers. And Bros Papier going to Wilco Low. Now back across to Ruan Nokia. Now Boan Fenter. About probably 4 meters out. Visa, after the run that he had in the early stages of the half, you'd expect him to be able to get over that try line. Now Ambrose Papier leaves it alone for Wilco Lowe. A pretty big missed call there for the ref. Yeah, the last time I checked, you're not allowed to carry your player forward through defenders. But it worked, and they're getting close now. Evan Ruiz has gone over, and the try is scored by the Boks. They can technically still go right back to check that, but I don't think they will. But Evan Ruiz scores the try quickly after the last one. But Boan Fenter, he decided the best way of stopping anyone from tackling Cobus Visa is to pick him up and run him forward. I don't know whether or not that is a tactic we will see in the future, but, I mean, it worked. Okay, Pierre Brousset is just having a conversation here with the referee, or sorry, with the TMO here. And Visa and Paul excellent in that try. Andre Pollard. We're hearing a lot of chat at the moment from the referee. I don't know whether or not that is because it's about to be taken back, or whether it's just a conversation with the TMO in general. But that try looks like it's going to stand, and Evan Ruiz scores it to make the score now 14-0. And here we go, the Boks says Diana there. We have got the Scotland need to score 2 more and Boks all the way. That's from the junior Boks. They had a try from the same move, says Theodore. And we have got the issue there isn't as if I hit the player, holding the player up, it's a dangerous play, and you can't hit the man in the air, so what exactly are the defenders supposed to do? Yeah, you actually kind of have to just sit and wait, which is a bit of it's a different one. And again, I think that it will be an intriguing one to see what comes of that, but it's still a brilliant run from Visa after that. The way that he was storming up the field, every time someone got onto a leg, he just kind of shook them off. Now Ambrose Papier from inside of the Bok 22. Kicking this one downfield, doesn't look towards the touchline, loose bouncing ball. I think Ethan Hooker has managed to regather it, throws the ball on the inside though, and has popped back on the side of Scotland. Xander Fagerson with the offload now to Kyle Rowe, and they need an answer very soon. Here for Scotland, bit of a mess now, says Hanger Rat. We have, there goes South Africa, says Carlos. And hello Hamish and the viewers, says Runaway Brides. And now left-hand side again, Gregor Brown. Up to the halfway line, ball ripped off him by Paul de Villiers, but it is a knock-on advantage, and Scotland will have the scrum. We're already 21 minutes through this game, by the way. It has been absolutely flying by. Come on, he didn't run either anyone was holding him up. Relax, says LB. And we have got there, did they wake up, says Mohadeen. They have certainly found a bit of a rhythm. And we have got there, thanks, Angarat, says Carol Ann. And how's Hamish, thanks for the great commentary all day, says Sean, and come on the Bok. Says Peter. What's happening there? Pierre Brousset having a bit of a conversation here with one of the players. I think it was Xander Fagerson who was down with a bit of an injury. Commentators where I am are saying there are only 2 possible teams right now who can win the World Cup. They're both South African. Says Youngko, and also Sweaty Socks desperately need a discount burger. And also who's injured? It is Xander Fagerson was down, although he's back up to his feet now. And the Boks are in the huddle too. While the spread for the Boks was 17 points just before the match, I thought it was mispriced. I second-guessed myself and didn't take it, says Jameson. We need the 4 tries, so go the Boks, says Marius. Of course, for this Nations Championship, it is all about bonus points, trying to be that side that finished at the top of your hemisphere, then go head-to-head with the other side, or the other team in the equation. Cannot be South versus South, though. Will be North versus South. Currently, Scotland, after the win last week, they are sitting relatively nicely. Ireland also near the top. The South African ladies lost to USA earlier today in the rugby, 26 points to 19. Yeah, so making that series 1-1 between those 2 sides. It's going to be the scrum reset now, though. Ben White to put this ball in for the Scottish. I don't think off the mark he is as quick as Ambrose Papier, but he has certainly got some tactics up his sleeve. And oh my, what is Rusty going to do with all the this depth? Says Neil Harvey, probably the same thing he has been doing, I would think, and that's just rotate them, keep everyone fresh as he can, heading towards that Rugby World Cup. Scotland kicking out from their first possession showed they were not having it early. Worked well for the first 10, says Anthony. Right, the scrum, 48 Meters out from their own line here, Scotland. They need to get that set piece going. They are down by 2 tries. Big push from the box. The ball pops out the back for Sione. Tuipulotu goes through and Bros Papia. Dragged down by Peter Steph the Toy. Now away to the right-hand side. A lack of numbers out wide for South Africa in that defensive set, but they have decided to go to the left-hand side where there were more numbers here, or are there? Now wide ball out into the hands of Kyle Rowe, tackled by Bros Papia, and the advantage in favour of Scotland. Ben White back across to Matt Ferguson, just falls over into the challenge of the Bok prop. Now short ball. Now away to the right again. Sione Tuipulotu moves it on to Dobie, who's doing a bit of shuffling to get up to the Scotland 22-metre line. Or sorry, the South African 22. Gregor Brown. Another big solid 2-man tackle by the box. Now Pierre Skorman gets his legs hung on to nicely by Wilco Lowe, moving away to the left. Sione Tuipulotu with the inside ball to Kyle Steyn. Couldn't quite free up the arms for the offload. Still under the penalty advantage. Ben White to Skorman, sells the dummy off into the tackle of Evan Rus. They are staying down for Scotland for a little bit of time there. I think it might be Kyle Steyn. Hasn't quite got back up to his feet, but still under that advantage. They've had about 15 phases. No, sorry, actually only the 10 at this point in time, but it would have to be close to advantage over with the amount of metres that they have made. Passed out wide. Ewan Ashman trying to bump off the tackle of Hooker. They go into touch, so that means they go right back for the initial advantage. We have got the penalty. Scotland says Hanger at. And bad defence by South Africa now, says Hanger. How many games have you commentated on today? So this is our 4th match. We've still got another one around the corner too. We are going to be covering the matchup between the Argentines and Wales. And when Scotland get an advantage, the ref lets it run for about 47 minutes, says Youngko. Yeah, that was way back at the 40-metre line that the penalty went in their favour. I would have well and truly called advantage over by then. Who dropped out for Hooker to come in, and why? Moody out with a late injury, I believe was the call. Kicked in a Dutch by Finn Russell. Scotland got a player from every country, says Navigator, and everyone trying to play like the All Blacks now, says other side of the fence. And have to hold them out. The scoreline looks a lot better with 14 points in favour of the Boks rather than just the 7 if Scotland are able to strike now. South Africa also have to make sure that that discipline stays on point here. Ewan Ashman with the line out. Throwing to the front. Nicely taken by the Scottish and now breaking off the back. A little bit of a set piece there. Matt Ferguson going short side. Big crunching tackle on Ben White. And ruled is on the feet from Johan Grobbelaar from his knees and wins the penalty for South Africa. I think he got it first before going down and losing the footing. We have got there. We need to try box these runaway brides. And also Ashman has stood up, says Calmac, and advantage should have a clock running and not be the ref's decision. That would actually make things a lot easier, wouldn't it? If you just had like a 60-second timer or something like that, where you can go back for the penalty, and then if you don't decide to go back for it during that time, you just get to play on. Moloch needs to stretch those kicks a little. And time at the moment, we are sitting 26 minutes through this fixture. Currently still 14-0 in favour of South Africa. Johan Grobbelaar, 40 metres out from his own line here. Throwing it to the back. Nicely taken by Peter Steph de Toy and Bros Papia. Pops it up to Paul de Villiers. Had an aggressive start to his Springbok career. And now we have to go back and score 14 points. Leaders nothing in rugby anymore. Yeah, just how quickly a game can change. Now going up for that ball was Edward van der Merwe, taken by Cobus Avisa. Now back across, Pollard finds the hands of Jesse Krill, has Fussy on his right. One more pass out to Ethan Hooker, tries to cut inwards. Moving back to 25 metres out from the line, pick and go attempted, but Hutchinson shuts him down from the get-go and almost, but not quite, able to get the steal. Paul de Villiers again pumping the legs. Now Papier pops it up to Jesse Krill, who finds himself right next to the breakdown. Papier fires it across to Pollard. Big wide cutout pass to Edward van der Merwe. Does well to be able to regather that one. Damien Balimza. That's a name we haven't said too much of, and he's just dropped the ball. Maybe that's why. Now Matt Ferguson pops it up to Ben White, who will look to kick this one downfield, looking for a bit of a territory gain there, and it's a brilliant kick from Ben White as it goes right next to the sideline, stays in the field of play. Big firing cutout pass from Pollard. Apalele Fassi goes back with the up and under down towards halfway, taken by Ferguson. Tries to fend off Grobela. This is a hectic pace at the moment. I wanted Willemse to try there. I don't actually know what he was going to go for, but he got shut down before he got to. Nice kick in behind from Kyle Rowe. Again, just trying to force South Africa back into their own 22. Apalele Fassi with a lot of time to work with. And doesn't find touch. Finn Russell runs it up to the halfway line. He sees the opportunity. Does take the contact of Fassi before flicking it out. Now, nice step from Matt Ferguson up to Dash. Offload again, keeping the ball alive. All three loose forwards. Up to Xander Ferguson to the 22 they go. Now looking for the steal though. Ruan Nokia has got the clean turnover for South Africa. Didn't even win the penalty advantage. That's how cleanly he managed to rip it away. And Bros Papia back across the Pollard. Thank you very much, Philip. Greatly appreciated for your donation there. Damian Willemse down the field, taken by Rory Hutchinson, who points to the sky and says, I'm going to give this one an almighty hoof. It's going to be an awkward one for Fassi, but he takes it well. Now looking for the kick downfield. He's actually gone out on the full. Tried to grub it, but he maybe got a little bit too much underneath it. And now it does give the Scottish the chance of a line out. We have got there. Hey there, great commentary. Been following your pod since day one. Respect from South Africa, Cape Town. Says Herman, and it is greatly appreciated you being here for this contest. Anyone who is new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are back next week for South Africa versus Wales, as well as many more matches. We're doing the whole greatest rivalry tour on the channel too. So be sure to stick around for that. But 14-0, the two tries, one from Evan Roos, and also the other try was scored early on in this contest by Ambros Papier. We have got their box. You must add points to the second quarter. And go the Bok, says Nom. Line out throw, nicely taken at the back by Jack Dempsey. They're 40 metres out from South Africa's line at the moment. Scotland with the wide cutout pass out to Jamie Dobie. Bit of a misread from Fassi there defensively, but three men in the breakdown trying to rip it away, but that means there is a gap on the outside for Scotland to try and find. They make the game so exciting for us without visuals and no visuals. Says Diana there. Step there, Stain. Couldn't get the offload that time. White cross there to Matt Ferguson. And off the feet from Evan Roos. So gives away the regular penalty advantage for that man. He doesn't go a full game without one. Now passing across short to Ewan Ishman. Almost a knock-on the ground. Yes, it was, so they'll go back for the penalty. Watching from BC, Canada. Outstanding commentary as usual. Hamish says, Anton, thank you very much. Points for the box says, Runaway Brides. And 32-12 still on, says Johan. 30 minutes through this contest already. We have got there, shorten here from Cambodia, proudly South African. And if they hadn't forward past, the advantage would probably have run till half-time, says Junko. Again, Finn Russell has no intention of doing anything but going for the corner here. I think that is part of the importance. What's up, Hamish? Says Sean. But now Ewan Ashman has to get this line out right. And somebody going to try, please, says Ruth. And the line out is important. And yes, big man, it's been a while, says Thick Boy. Welcome back. If you are doing well and love listening here instead of watching live, listen from Cape Town, says Netta. Ashman from 12 metres out, throwing to the front. Uncontested by South Africa. Recycled to the back of the rolling maul for Scotland. They're breaking away nicely now. Ewan Ashman's still a part of that same rolling maul, protecting the ball nicely. But Peter Steftatoy getting through the middle, trying to tie it up. They've been told to use it once. Ruan Nokia getting through. He's told to leave it alone. Ben White cross to Sione Tui Pilotu. Kyle staying with a short ball. What a terrible pass, but what phenomenal hands from Kyle Rowe. Slipping over in the back play was Damian Willemse now scrambling to get into position. Finn Russell steps around Jesse Krill, bumps off Willemse and sits him down. Now White, short ball to Gregor Brune. Big shot on him. Now White Ashman puts it down with the knock on. And a brutal moment for Scotland, who looked like they were bound to get themselves their first points of the day. We have got knock on Scotland, says Hangarat. So yeah, I think you're still a little bit ahead of myself. The suspension is killing me, says Navigator. And also we have got the Horacio that brings on young Hendrik Vessels when the Boks are behind and needs to perform a couple grabs in the rucks and mauls. I saw Fiji versus England out. Yeah, that game was not very close whatsoever, unfortunately. Pressure defence go the Bok, says Marius. And South Africa needs 10 more minutes to warm up before they really get started, says Herman. And too many missed tackles, says Ian. There's been a few. And I can't wait to watch this game. But it won't be the same without Hamish commentating, says Anton. And Loftus Versfeld is off, says Hangarat. Yeah, he has just made his way from the field. As we do see Ben Jason Dixon make his way on. There were slight concerns for Versfeld about 2 minutes ago. But 8 minutes still left of this first half. It's been a hectic pace. It's felt like more than 14 points, to be honest. Hello there, watching from East London, South Africa. Says Brenda there. And I know Versfeld off, he was excellent. And Scott's can't answer, says Ulrich. And also, how many did Fiji win by? More so, how much did they lose by? They lost by 65 points in that game. And keep them in score now, at least 21-0 at the first half. And Scotland should bring on their spin bowler, says Peter Parker. Another scrum reset here, and South Africa will be looking for nothing less than a penalty. With this position on the field, sitting about 7 metres out from their own line. It won't be the first time Rassi takes a player off just after 30 minutes for a reason. And just came back from the city centre, had a few beers. And there's more South African fans than Scottish in the pubs. Oxford, that is. Second half, the game will start, says Michael. A little bit similar to what we saw between New Zealand and Italy. First half, relatively low scoring between those two sides. Then second half got underway. And it got a little bit hectic from the get-go. Now Ambrose Papier. Feed this one in again. South Africa need a penalty to clear the position. Says Hangarat, and that is exactly what they will be aiming for. After already getting the scrum advantage earlier on in the game. Waiting for the push there. Scotland collapse. They win the penalty for South Africa. Not quite handling the pressure on the near side. Not happy about it there for Wilco Low, but a mistake made. And now South Africa conceding just in front of their own goalposts. Not good, says Hangarat. And Ben Jason Dixon looked like he had an injury. That's why he was taken off. I assume you're talking about Loftus Versfeld rather than Ben Jason Dixon, who's just made his way on. Looks like the tapping option is going to be the one that the Scottish look towards. Now tapping it. Going away to the left-hand side. Finds the hands. I see on there Tuipalotu. 5 metres out for Limbs. Are calling the shots from the left-hand side. Trying to set up for a rolling maul here in the middle of play for the Scottish. And it looks like it's going to be all right. Yes, it is. It's going to be allowed to move. Although now South Africa trying their best to be able to shut it down. Ewan Ashman takes it to ground and there is an advantage now in favour of Scotland. Matt Fagerson, pick and go. He goes over. Pierre Brosset majorly out of position. I don't think he realised that Matt Fagerson had gone forward. But this looks like a decent chance of a try here for Scotland. Sounds like the Boks are not doing so well, says Craig. And also defence. And as usual, great commentating for such a fast game. Hamish, listen from Durban, says Alice there. And they're improving on what we saw Argentina do last week, says HDB, but we're going to see it now for Matt Fagerson. Yeah, clear grounding. Got that ball down. Oh, we have them around Hamish, says Jelaine. And a try looks like, says Hanger. Researchers say they only give New Zealand a 6.5 out of 10 performance. I thought a 7 would have been fair, and Sirius is able. But yeah, the try has been scored by the Scottish. Now makes the score 14 points to 5. And try times his other side of the fence. Great bit of work from Matt Fagerson. And the middle of the park, more right, might become more of a feature. Must remember this is the same Scotland that smashed France. And try, says Michael. And shows that scrum again that resulted in the penalty. I cannot show it, of course, but I could see what happened, which pretty much was on that far side, Wilco Low just unfortunately folded. He ended up going backwards and Scotland kind of went forward. So because of that, they ruled it against Wilco Low. And fair enough, keeps the game more interesting than completely flattening them would, says Youngco. A good old finish from Matt Fagerson. And was that quick, like I mentioned there? No one really saw it coming round the side of the breakdown, but the kick has gone over from Russell, now making the score after 35 minutes, 14 points to 7. You cannot give our points to Scotland. Focus box says runaway brides. The Springboks dogs ruck time. Scotland improved there. Could be close. Kick downfield from Ben White from inside of the 22. And it's a good clearing boot on that man. Scoreboard doesn't want to give Finn Russell the additional 2. And come on the box try before half time. But Scotland only finished 4th or 5th in the Six Nations, says other side of the fence. But still the 4 minutes. Plenty of time remaining. This line out has to be accurate though from Johan Krobela. I don't think Loftus Versfeld is turning out to be what Russie needs, although to be fair, he had a decent start to this game up until his injury and enjoying your commentary whilst on holiday in Spain. Says, it was there from Rick. Buan Finta around that halfway line. Bros Papia looking back. Although instead he's going to go for the kick himself off of the right boot. He's just asking to make sure that he had a chase it in preparation, and that is Edward van der Merwe, although the kick just a little bit too deep. Nicely taken by Kyle Steyn as the ball almost slipped through the fingertips. Now Ben White goes off to Pierre Scorman. It's called as just inside, I believe, was the comment there from the referee, which does mean that Ben White can kick this one into touch. In fact, no, it might have been that it wasn't inside, as he's decided to opt for down the middle of the field. Nice run from Pollard, moves up forward, and Xander, or no, that time it was Matt Fagerson, managing to claim the ball, but Rory Darge looks like he's injured. Finn Russell looking towards the 50-22 at altitude as well, getting plenty of distance on it. It goes down to Upper Lilifasi, who looks to run it back from his own 22. Line ugly clean out there. Is it going to be the advantage? No, it sounds like it's going to be play on. Now back across. Rowe goes to Ben White, stepping inwards, tackled by Peter Steftotoy. And a counter ruck there from South Africa, and they're going to go back for the penalty to Scotland for side entry against the South Africans, but they're definitely going to be looking at that challenge in the air between Russell and Upper Lilifasi. And Scotland got a little bit of momentum here. Says Johnny there too. And the Boks will win this game. That I am certain of. Go the Boks, says runaway brides. And kicked in a touch by Finn Russell, about 15 metres out from the try line. We're going to see the replay here. Yeah, I don't actually think that's that bad from Finn Russell. It was an awkward landing for Fussy, but I've just said there, nothing much in it in the South African commentary booth. And Fussy always running into things. Yep, thrown in, nicely taken at the front for Jack Dempsey. Rolling maul again. It's been one of the key features at the moment for Scotland. Peter Steftotoy trying to swim through the middle. Same with, I think that's, oh no, it's Evan Rose. I thought it was Ethan Hooker for a second. I was thinking he was doing all the hard work in that forward pack. And Ben White, way to the left, finds a hands up here, Scorman. Scotland with some very handy position near the end of this game, or near the end of this half, I should say. Ewan Ashman running out wide at Ethan Hooker again. Bit of a counter-ruck, beautifully picked up by Ben White to keep it on his side. I think that's Rory Darge, so he might have recovered from the injury that it looked like he had. Fussy always running into things. Please speak a little bit of Afrikaans for us. We know you can, says Xander. I really don't know a lot. Sione Tuipolotu, 10 metres out from their own line there. Good counter-ruck from Paul de Villiers. Matt Fagerson. Waiting for it on this left-hand side. Pierre Scorman, and now Ruas straight back up to the feet. Oh no, he gives away the advantage for a no clear release. That is the second penalty against Ruas now. Now Finn Russell outrunning Paul de Villiers. Flicks it up to Tuipolotu through the tackle with Ben Jason Dixon. Offload on the outside. And Scotland score between the posts to make this game level heading into half-time. Kyle Rowe, the man who receives the pass. They could play freely under the penalty advantage. Scotland have fired back. This has become a bit of a trend throughout the July internationals. The Boks go out firing early, and then from there the opposition bring it back to a close score near halftime. Finn Russell is quality, says HDB, and so is Sione Tuipolotu, luring in the defenders to then have Kyle Rose score it between the posts. We have the second half. We're looking at some pace, says Ulrich there, and try, says Michael. But now Finn Russell, he is 100% off the kicking tee, and this one should be a stock standard straight one from about 10 metres out for Finn Russell. But the halftime siren has sounded, and that is now going to be 14-14 halfway through this match. Scotland look useful here, says Flesh, and they are certainly up for the challenge in this matchup. What a match that we've seen so far between these teams. And my books at halftime score is actually 14-0 to the Scots. Box made a lot of errors. We should have more respect for the Scots at least. We have Russie during halftime break. And whereas Williams are not effective at 12, move him to 15, says Ian. And come on, says E5 and 14-14 in the first half. That sucks. And Scotland can be, or can, but will never win this game, says Romario. And also, Bot fans not so talkative now, says Claus, and also literally the same as England. Let's face it, still better than Scotland. South Africa came out strong. The second quarter of the game is the lowest points, second half. I might go Box way again, says Youngko. And yeah, it did in the English game. We saw South Africa score a lot of points second half, and England didn't score too many whatsoever. And we have got there Box playing like school kids, shocking. And I'm not a fan of Gaza at 12 either. I feel like at times they're lacking that Dialendi crash ball. Don't get me wrong, Damien Valimza, absolutely phenomenal at 15, which makes, well, I don't want to question the choices because, of course, they'll be there for a reason. But for me, he played a brilliant game at 15. If you were going to change your 12, you change it to Andre Esterhazen. And you leave Valimza either out of the lineup or off of the bench, or you keep him at 15. It just seems like an interesting choice. Definitely because you've got Pollard on the inside, who isn't exactly known for making a lot of those hard yards. You need a crash ball specialist in the 12 jersey, and that's something that South Africa don't really have with Damien Valimza. We have got there Fussy not playing well for me. Says Mike and Sioni's playing awesome. And Rus needs to be replaced. He's a penalty magnet. He has always been a penalty magnet, Evan Rus. He's given away his 2 penalty advantages, which is about stock standard. We have got their tough game. Ref is favouring Scotland, I think, says Roy. And also we have got there Russie. And also what's next damage, says Roof. So we've got a second half of this game, and then after that we are going to be playing, or not playing, but we are going to be doing the commentary for the Argentina versus Wales matchup. And it's coming up in the relatively near future. That game kicking off in about 2 hours, 40 minutes. Bot's going to lose. Just watch, says Claus. And also, Hamish crash ball only works 60% of the time, every time, says Xander. And the bomb squad better wake up now, says Kathy. And we all know Russie always has a plan. Let the man cook. And shame Hamish is going to learn, or have to learn, Afrikaans. You guys are so rudely sick to English. Just joking soon. It'll be 100%. Says Jax, aren't you tired? I should be, but I'm not really at the moment. Later on, it will certainly kick in. Probably during that Argentina-Wales game. We'll be about halfway through, and I'll think, sleep would be ideal. But currently, I'm wide awake looking at this second half. Hello, says Mornay. And also, we have the Scotland cooking up some biltong. And the draw is on the card, says Johnny. And Scots are bringing it all good. Let's see. Go the Bok. But yeah, a much better finish to the half. You're all shouting your mouths off. This is a high field. Last 20 minutes, Scotland will die lungs. Going to burn, says Roy. And I like the commentary as well, says Mornay. Thank you very much. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. You something Russie can experience and make excuses. Said Donald Carr. And South Africa used to playing the ref and the opposition. Game wins of the NC Spencer. And some of the forwards are not putting in the effort. They are walking to the defensive line, says Onkara. Now, what I will say is someone who impressed me throughout that first half was Rua Nokia in terms of the work rate. Same with Peter Steph-Toy. I think that those two men have done their job throughout this first 40 minutes. De Villiers has been trying, but he hasn't been able to get that big steal that he's been after. And we have got the All Black supporters box needing a bit more discipline. Scotland playing very well. And the box forwards are finished, says Claus. And also we've got the South Africa used to playing the ref. Oh no, you're just going to spam it again, are you, Spencer? You did that last stream as well. You could only come up with one sentence, and then you just put it 50 times. And then no one cared. We have got there, I think, their A side will win it, let alone B and C sides. And goes South Africa, says Algero. And also Scotland forwards still have energy compared to the box forwards. And Rabala also had a good first half, says HDB. Now we have there, Evan Rus is a walking penalty. Yeah, he has a lot of penalties along the way. And we have got there so much for Scotland getting smashed. Whoever called the draw might be onto something. And we have got there the end of line for the Springboks. And no DNA, just RSA, says LaRue. Yeah, 14-14. at the moment in this contest. We have got about 10 more minutes of the halftime break, ladies and gentlemen. Bot forwards, hands on hips, and I think it's fair score by the play, says Calmac. What we're also going to quickly do, ladies and gents, is we're going to show you what is to come in this Nations Championship. That's not it. We'll go with this one instead. Next week, South Africa will be going head-to-head up against the Welsh, and they would love to be undefeated at this stage. And I should also mention, currently the Boks are on a 9-match winning streak. So that would be double digits if they can get past the Scottish here. But Scotland making it difficult. They have a game up against the Fijians. That will not be a Fiji home game, though. It will be played in Scotland due to Fiji not having home games of this Nations Championship. But what does this do to the overall standings if we saw South Africa either draw or lose this game? There is still a half of rugby to be played. And once again, it was close up against England at halftime. Then we saw the Boks come out absolutely firing to be able to finish off that game in style. But they'll be tested here a little bit up against the Scottish side that seemed like they've got a fair amount of oomph behind them. And we have you there move Kriel to 12, Horn in at 13, and Willemse back to 15, says James. And the Boks bench will pull through, says Francis. And we've already seen one change made with Ben Jason Dixon out there on the field due to the injury of Cobus Vesa. And the Boks have got the stronger bench, says Fred Archer. And also Willemse not pulling his weight at 12, says I have no clue. And also only 4 World Cups, says I have 9 in Rugby World Cups, says other side. And Kyle Rowe is standing up. Yeah, he's been solid from that 15 jersey. He has been probably the pick out of him or Farsi. And playing players out of position is not good. I don't know what Rassi is thinking, says Cameron. Well, to be fair to him, he's probably thinking everything he's done lately has turned to gold. So he probably thought it was going to work again here. But again, I don't think Damian Willemse is a 12. He's had some good games from 12, but they needed that guy with a bit of ball running on offer too, because you're dealing with Sione Tuipulotu, who's one of the most underrated 12s in world rugby with what he's able to do with ball in hand. What do you think Scotland will do with their first possession? They'll probably try and run it, to be fair. They've got the momentum at the moment in this contest. Exactly, Hamish Willemse as a fullback, says Cameron. And yeah, it's not like he was playing badly at 15, so they had to move him. Like, he had a very solid game last week up against England at 15. As Bryce Kinghorn isn't playing, or is he injured? I think he's out injured, isn't he? Blair Kinghorn, the Boks is going to win. Just wait and see. And go the Boks, says JP. And Tuipulotu has been good so far, says Jeff. Yeah, he's been linking up nicely with a few of those other backs. Finn Russell had some solid moments. What do we do about 12? I don't think Willemse is going to show up. Well, that's where there's a predicament. Because there's, like, Ethan Hooker moved to 12. And then Kewan Horn. Oh. Yeah, you're actually in a little bit of a tricky spot. Because there's no specialist backup for the 12 jersey. So, yeah, you could look at Ethan Hooker moving to 12, having Damian Willemse drop to 15, Farsi off the field for Kewan Horn. That's something that maybe could be considered. And we have got there, all of a sudden, my biltong tastes like licorice, says Mr. D, and I'll move Ethan Hooker to 12, says Albert. And Ethan Hooker is a winger, says Cameron. Yeah, although throughout the pretty much whole of the Sharks campaign, he has been playing in the centres. But, like, who else is your 12 then? Andre Pollard to 12. Oh, no, that doesn't change anything. That gives you another guy who's not a dynamic ball runner in that 12 jersey. So, I don't know. Pollard to 12, says Hendrick. That, I should mention that was me going with the Andre Pollard to 12 and changing my mind. It wasn't from seeing your one. It wasn't like me having a go at you for the 12 switch. They could maybe consider it because they still need him out there for the kicking too. We have got their next 20 minutes are so crucial. Needs to score first. And hello, Hamish, says Jeff J. Welcome in. Ruas off ASAP. Also, Pollard, get the back line moving. And also, how many penalties did Ruas concede? He gave away 2 penalty advantages throughout that first half. Matt Ferguson is all heart. Says Calmac, yeah, he's had quite a fixture in the early stages of this match. And the Boks will come for them. Says Shear. And yeah, again, second half of the game up against England was a completely different performance from the first half for South Africa. Pollard has been direct with the balls this game, to be fair, says LB. We have got their Kriel to 12 with Hooker at 13. Maybe. What's your prediction now? I'm still going same as what I went with in the preview. Because if I change my mind now, then if it actually ends up on that, then I've changed my mind. So I'm just sticking with the preview score. We have got their box, they've got the stronger bench. Willem's off, Hooker to 12 and Horn to 15, in my opinion. Says Mr. Monk. And the Bocker says Joshua there. And ABC team doesn't matter. A team is a team, says Jeff. And Scotland seem to be too slippery for the box, not getting tackle dominance. Says I have no clue. Yeah, they just haven't been able to push them backwards at times when it comes to those collisions. Although two-man tackles are doing the job for the South Africans, but it's also leaving a bit of space for Scotland to try and break through when they are getting the offloads away. Graham Williams can play wing as well, that is true. I think they'll want to save him in that 9 or wing option for later in the half, just in case. With that 6-2 split with Owen Ket's the box play, you think Rassie stars players if they don't perform, says Jeff. We have there Scotland's highest mountain is Ben Nevis at 1,345 metres. The South Africa's highest is Mafadi at 3,446. And still the box by 24, says Mr. D. And Ethan apparently preferred 12 when he was younger. Yeah, he quite liked that inside centre role. And then throughout his time at the Sharks, played a little bit of outside and then also on the wing. Gazer at 12 is just fine. Love the box winning. But we, again, nothing moving back into our comfort zone. Losing would be fine if we just fight to step it up, says Lungy. Scotland do not plan to lose. They are coming out hard and keep the limbs at 12. He's been doing fine. We need to give our winger some space somehow. And also Scotland will not last with their own game plan. Yeah, although the Scottish team, if they feel like they're in it, they will keep on going for the 80 minutes. We have seen Glasgow come to the same location to beat the Bulls in the URC. If they feel like there is the chance, they will dig deeper than I think a lot of people will anticipate. And plans to lose, sorry, says Yanko. And Scotland chose 2 packs to combat the box. And the box bench can hopefully make a difference, says Hanger Rat. Yeah, scrum-wise, we have still seen some pretty decent moments from South Africa, although the most recent scrum, they were penalised in it for Brian Fenter. Oh, no, sorry, it was actually Wilco Lowe. Man penalised for it. And we have I just got here. How's Pollard been first half? I think he's had a solid enough half. Andre Pollard. I would definitely say it's not his fault that the scoreline sits the way that it is. And we have got the air dominance. It's like last week with England. And yo, guys, says Nombele. Welcome in. And also Scotland to bring on Bradbury. And how many minutes? I would say we've got another 3 minutes before the second half gets underway. What I've started doing is actually setting a timer for the halftime break. And normally it's 15 minutes. Although that England versus Fiji game was actually a lot more. It was 20 minutes due to the heat that they were playing. And go Scotland, go hard out. Or had to go out, so missed the first half, says Ben Williams there. Yeah, currently 14-14. It is anyone's game for the taking. The first 10 minutes of the second half could be absolutely crucial. All the momentum is on the side of Scotland, but the Springboks side, how often has it been that they go into the halftime sheds, they come back out and look like a whole different team? Rassie will be telling them everything that they need to do different. What is the split, Hamish, for the box? 6-2 or 5-3? It is a 6-2 in this contest due to Eldrick Lowe and Vincent Tichuka being the 2 replacement forwards and the loose forwards. There was a lot of forwards in that sentence. South Africa wins, and Scotland always fight back all the way, but I think a few changes will become too much for them to handle. And a lot of disrespect towards Scotland, hey? Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about what South Africa are doing wrong, but there also needs to be a lot of talk about what Scotland are doing right here. And they've looked solid throughout this first half. They've made those meters. They haven't got too loose, I think, is the big one. The counter-attack hasn't been on the cards too often. Haven't really been following the non-South African games in the series. Heard Wales have improved for the couple of years. Yeah, they've slowly been getting better, the Welsh. They were able to beat Fiji in their first round fixture. They have got a game up against the Argentines taking place in 3 hours' time. We are going to be covering that one on the channel, or actually about 2.5 hours' time till that match gets underway. Another point is that the air contest is not as dominant with England, says I have a clue. And I see Hamish is angry for me. What should I be angry for you about, Mohadeen? And Finn Russell is the guy Pollock thinks he is. I think that game against New Zealand last year where they lost by 1 point was the change. Scotland, they have a lot more physical, a lot fitter as well. Who's the box kicker? It is Andre Pollard. He is sitting 2 from 2 at the moment. The way that it sits, a lot of teams can look good for 40 minutes. Rugby is 80 minutes though. And Scotland might Scotland might just surprise us all. But Tui Pelotu, he will be an absolute key in the second half for Scotland. And we have got there, Scotland need to keep it tight. See, Upper Lilifasi is still out there on the park. I'm not sure whether Rassi made too many changes at this halftime break. I believe it is still just Ben Jason Dixon. And good to see the box lead in the backs play a bit of rugby too, says Ronnie. And Fassi is not as good as he thought he was. And Scotland are doing so well to disrupt the box momentum. Yeah, they've had some big moments. Scotland still haven't actually made their return out of the tunnel here. I'd like to think they wouldn't be a mile away. The box are waiting for them. The referees making their way out onto the field as well. We've currently had more than the 15-minute break. But we need a Scotland to start the second half. Otherwise, it's hard to think the Scots are actually playing well. Says the Fleshen. Yeah, like Scotland have beaten some very good sides over the last, I'd say, 12 to 24 months. They've played some incredible rugby. Their sides in the URC, you know, with the Glasgow Warriors are normally pretty successful. 50-50 decisions are not going the box way, says Fenn. I think Scotland will come out like Al. Says Angarat. I think Grant Williams can make a difference here. He's certainly got that quick acceleration. Same with Untutuku Machunu. That man is underrated in terms of the amount of power that man possesses. Arasi going to bend a couple of ears during half-time. This game is going to be close, but I think the box by 8+. And the box 4 position is cursed. They simply cannot keep any of their locks fit. Yeah, so Kobus Vesig adds to the list alongside Arge Sneyman, Eben Etzebeth, Franco Mostert, Ludwiache, Riley Norton. I think there's maybe one or two more as well. The Scottish team have been kidnapped. Says the real pie man. And they've made their way back out there now. It took a little while for them to get back out onto the park, but Scotland will be kicking off from right to left, and we are underway for the second half of this contest. 14-14. Evan Russ takes it nicely inside of the box 22. And now Ambrose Papia will be able to kick this one downfield. Sio Kolisi is out injured. Says Yanko there. Oh, trying for the charge down was Scott Cummings, who actually timed it very nicely. Tackle on the halfway line. Kyle Rowe goes across to Finn Russell. Rush defense. Injury there for Gregor Brown. Was limping for a second. It looks like he's just trying to get feeling back in that leg. Xander Fagerson. And we have there what's wrong with Sia. I think it was a calf injury, was it? For Sia Kolisi, or something in his leg anyway. Ben White. Or might have been hamstring, actually. Nice take from Pollard off the kick downfield from Scotland. That's a turnover in the breakdown from Matt Fagerson. I'm not sure how legal it was, and it is going to go back for the penalty now in favour of South Africa playing the ball in an offside position. We have got their penalty for South Africa for once. Says hang a rat. And only bad thing is about the first half is our away strip. Andre Pollard is so good under the high ball. He's actually, he's proven just how dangerous he can be with taking those kicks. Oh, time off, and there's going to be a check here on the TMO side of things. Okay, they're checking for some foul play from South Africa. Sione Tuipulotu going up to the referee and saying, hey, can we please check something? He contacted the breakdown. This is going to be probably a yellow card at least, without even seeing it. It's normally the way that it does happen. Why has he done that, Ben Jason Dixon? He's just led in with his head to just collide with Scott Cummings. It's not smart from Ben Jason Dixon whatsoever. And I have no idea why he would do that. In this breakdown, there was nothing that was going to come of it. But he drops his head. And then I think his intention was to try and hit him in the chest. But all he's done is he looks like he's lined up. He looked at him and then he's gone up with his head. So, I don't know. I think that this one might be ruled as yellow. And that's the yellow card that I give up, says Albert. Another minute, says Ian. They've said it meets the yellow card threshold. No, we don't need a yellow card, says Runaway Brides. And imagine if Scotland managed to win this one, says Big Rig. This one is going to be an off-field review as well. I think what made it worse, unfortunately, for Ben Jason Dixon was the fact that he looked up at the player and then dropped his head and then came up like that. Now, I think he was trying to hit him in the chest, like I said, but caught him too high. And it's just something in a breakdown that didn't need to happen in that scenario. They weren't going to get the turnover because of Ben Jason Dixon making that contact. And based on Fiji game, that's going to be a red card, says Albert. Yellow, a bit different, the Fiji game with the kick to the player's chest, wasn't it? But that one was a straight red rather than this one being a yellow card for now. Multiple changes for the Springboks. We see Wilco Low going off. They look like Andre Pollard. Surely not. Oh no. Andre Pollard's coming off. What's he done wrong? Interesting. And I don't think that's one that people would have picked as the early change. Kewan Horn has come onto the field. Jack Dempsey's asking the question as to why he's allowed to be lifted up in the rolling maul, and that is a big collision there. Ewan Ashman fires it out the back, and they've got the penalty advantage now. Popping it across. Finn Russell moves it on. One more on the outside to Kyle Steyn, who will look to beat Damien Valimza for pace on the outside. Gets within 5 metres there. Breaking through and trying to find a way over now. Scotland, Finn Russell pops it up to Ewan Ashman. They're right on the verge of getting themselves a third here, Scotland. Sione Tuipulotu, the big Fen, 5 metres out. Hooker gets in the breakdown, almost ripped it away. Referee was about to blow his whistle, but decided against it in the end. And a new penalty advantage in favour of the Scottish. No, in fact, it's going back for the original one. Rusty desperate now, but I don't understand that change at all. Pollard was actually going well, was it? Or are we seeing something different? But to me, Pollard was safe under the high ball and was distributing the ball quite nicely. I would have thought out of a 50-50 of bringing Kewan Horn on, you'd chuck him on for Apalele Fasi, who hasn't been at his best today. But they've kicked for the corner. So Jan Hendrik Vezel, Zachary Porthin, and Elric Lowe is on for Evan Rus. Grant Williams is on as well. So making a lot of early changes. Who's kicking now? That's actually a very good question. Probably Damien Valimza. No, it would have to be Valimza, you'd assume. But who's playing 10 now? I believe Kewan Horn has been a rolling maul here for Scotland. They're over the line, or are they? It's held up. Brilliant defence from the box. Try hard up, says Hangerat. You're a little bit ahead still, Hanger. If you can delay it by about 5 seconds, would be greatly appreciated. And I don't believe this, I'm dripping, says Cal Mack, and I agree. Hamish has run away bright. A great bit of work. I believe it was Grant Williams who got in underneath. Why is Pollard off? I have absolutely no idea. The only reason that I can think for Pollard to come off now would have been due to injury, but he was fine. But, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting choice, and we'll see whether or not it pays off. Kewan Horn, not a lot of experience at all at international level. It could come down to a 3-pointer, but going up for the ball, they've knocked it backwards initially there, but Scotland almost had it. Possession goes the way of Ruan Nokia, pins his ears back, charges forward, puts the kick in behind. Creel is chasing after it. Russell under pressure, has men in front of him and decides to fire it off to Jamie Dobie. He tries to chip in behind. Awkward bounce, but picked up by Ethan Hooker. Offload to Paul de Villiers. Grub it in behind for Limza, looking to pick it up. He's driven into touch. A couple mistakes in quick succession from both sides. Pollard was playing well. I don't know what's the issue. Says LB, yeah, it just seems weird to take him off because he was probably one of the better backs. But Ruan Nokia going for a kick in behind after breaking that line initially. And high tempo game at the moment. Awesome, says Johnny. And neither of these sides are taking a backward step. We've got to remember this game's being played at altitude as well. So the lungs will be burning at this stage. They would have been in the first half. So it's going to come down to who wants it that little bit more. Currently some deep breaths are being had. 6 minutes remaining of that yellow card of Ben Jason Dixon. The Holbrook team with Etzebeth and Khaleesi will retire soon. We have got there, Rassi has thrown this match, says Ian. I wish I could see who was on right now, says Hangerat. In terms of the lineup for South Africa currently, they have got Jan Hendrik Wessels in that number 16 role. They have chucked on Untatuku Machunu, or actually no, Untatuku Machunu I don't think is on yet. Zachary Porthan's on for Wilco Lowe. Ben Jason Dixon was on for Cobus Vesa. Eldrick Lowe's on for Evan Russ. Kewan Horn and Grant Williams both on. That is for Andre Pollard and Ambros Papier. Those are all of the changes. Go Scotland, says Alex. And no, go the Bok. But 45 minutes through this contest, it has been quite the matchup. Talked about how this round was supposed to be a little bit one-sided for a lot of the games, but this game has not had that whatsoever. And go the box, says Nomsa. And do Damien play the 80 minutes? Now he has to. They've made all their changes. Right, the decision on the yellow card. Okay, it remains as a yellow card due to it being glancing contact and no extreme level of danger. Now we have there, what's the ref saying, Hamish? So he did say pretty much it just stays as the yellow card. And a lot of disrespect towards the Scotty says, Jeff, and your pronunciation of Afrikaans surnames is pretty spot on, brother, says Biscuit. Thank you very much. 1 point win for the box, says Norris, and the box says Joshua. So 6 minutes remains of Ben Jason Dixon's yellow card. 14 against 15 currently. Ewan Ashman throwing it to the back nicely, taken by Matt Fagerson. Oh, okay, Andre Pollard is back on because of Ethan Hooker having a head injury assessment here. So that just proves pretty much that there was no injury for Pollard. And that's probably the best thing that could have happened for the South Africans. Penalty, though, goes against Eldrick Lowe here. I would say they'll have a bit of a reshuffle now. What is happening, Hamish? It is a close old game between these two teams. But, yeah, Pollard back out there after Ethan Hooker's gone for the HIA head injury assessment. Now Finn Russell takes that one downfield and into touch for Scotland, who will be within the South African half. Pollard on again, says Ruth, and yay, Pollard's back. Yeah, I still don't understand why he went off in the first place. So this is, like I said, probably the best thing that could have happened in terms of South Africa's options for their backline, other than the fact that they'll have to do a bit of a reshuffle, but I don't think they'll mind that too much. That head injury assessment is fake. It's tactics to rotate. Well, that's not really allowed, though, is it? And bot fan sounding like English here, says Calmac. And Pollard just went for a beer. Maybe he just needed a toilet break, you think? Went off for a couple minutes and then comes back on. Now going away to the right-hand side. Russell moves it on to Sione Tuipulotu. Tried the flat ball, although regathered by Hutchinson nicely. White cross to Russell. Another short pass to Jamie Dobie. They move up to the halfway line now, Scotland. Fagerson up to Dempsey. Every time that the passes happen in this back line, it's one and then the next for Scotland, just trying to cause a little bit of confusion to the defence. Ben White pops it up this time. Dempsey decides to run it himself. Still around the 50-metre line. Finn Russell delaying his pass. Hutchinson with the fair ball on the inside of Ben White. Couldn't quite flick it up. Now does to Kyle Rowe. Up to Xander Fagerson. The amount of offloads that they are going with at the moment, Scotland, it is going to fatigue this Bok defence. Now White, cross to Ashman. Dempsey again, another carry. Good physical challenge from Andre Pollard. Tuipulotu passes it across now to Kyle Steyn. And on the cut, tackled by Apalele Fasi. What's the try and conversion count on this score? 14-14 just arrived. So 2 tries, 2 converted for both of these two sides. Xander Fagerson pops it across to Russell. Tuipulotu, quick hands now. Kyle Rowe, forward pass on the outside to Jamie Dobie. But they say play on. Dobie cuts in and moves to 7 metres out. Now across to Pierre Schoolman. Builds up a little bit of steam. Scotland on the attack. Spin there from Bayliss. He crawls and can't quite reach the try line. White going wide. Sione Tuipulotu cuts back and he backed himself but didn't get over. Ben White goes to Russell. Cut out past to Kyle Steyn. Has to cut it off the wing. Oh, that's a big chop from Jan-Hendrik Wessels. Ben White up to Bayliss again. Flicking it out to Dempsey. There's the knock on. And South Africa will have themselves the scrum feed. Got the donation as well from Mr. D. Thank you very much for your donation there. What a crazy game we are witnessing here at Loftus between these two sides. It is just an insane tempo. It was 100% forward. I thought it was, yeah. And no runaway rugby. Says Jeff J. I'm not sure what's going to run out first, my patience or my brandy. Go the Bok. Says Mandy. Pollard being off was for HIA. No. So he actually went off for the just straight replacement, and then he's come back on for for Ethan Hooker having the HIA. But yeah, there was no mention of a head injury assessment for Andre Pollard. Plus, I don't think he would have passed an HIA that quickly. It was only like a couple minutes that he was off for. Dempsey loves a knock on, says South Kid. And Scotland flag is blank, says Nombole. Dempsey. Looks like he's dealing with a bit of a cut on his head. And come on the Scot, says Cal Mack. Still 31 minutes left in this matchup. It's going to be an insane finish if this continues the way that it is. Zachary Porthin out there on the field. Johan Krobela getting to play a little bit deeper in this game. So I actually mentioned how Jan-Hendrik Wessels, he's on for Wilco Low, but he's playing as a tight head in this contest. So they have still got the extra change of being able to use Untatuku Machunu as a bit of a late impact. Is Pollard off or what? He's on now. So he was off. They did replace him with Kewan Horn, and then they brought him back out for the head injury assessment of Ethan Hooker. Kind of a boring game. This one that we're watching currently, you're calling boring. Do you think it's boring because there's been a lack of tries? Or what's the reasoning behind the boring call? Because I'd say it's been anything but boring the way that both of these sides have been going attacking minded throughout this 80 minutes. A Scotland person genetically says, cool story. I'm listening to you, not the game, so I don't get the ref or commentators' mics. Says LB. Now Grant Williams to feed this ball in 7 metres out from their own line here, South Africa. With 90 seconds remaining. On the yellow card, big push there. Scotland have been penalised. They felt like they won it, but it was side shuffling. The penalty goes the way of South Africa in the scrum. And go the box, says Sumke. Also, scrum is still scrumming. And South Africa scrum penalty at last. And why is Damien so quiet? Is Papia off? Papia is off, yes. And playing Rassi has a plan. And a boring match, says Mel. And also, maybe Ron Call got mixed up again. Horn should have gone to 15, not 10, says Ian. Although you'd think that it would be one that they wouldn't accidentally do. And tired of Russie's arrogance, should have played a strong team, says Jaden. Nothing boring here. I'm biting my nails, says PJR. And typical bot supporter comments, always being told how brilliant the bot depth is. Suddenly, when they struggle a bit, it's the B team, says Ronald. Now, line out here for Johan Krobela. This is going to be the last time. Oh, free kick goes the way of South Africa. Grant Williams takes the quick tap, and he is fresh since making his way off of the bench. So you will want to keep this tempo going at a high pace, but it's the question of whether or not his teammates in the starting lineup, who have played the rest of the 50 minutes, whether they can do it themselves too. Williams told to use it on the halfway line. Bit of a counter ruck. So rushed in that ruck there. Did he play in there by the box and score, please? At the moment, the score is sitting 14-14 with 28 minutes remaining. Now, taken cleanly. No, in fact, knock on from Apelele Fassi as he went to ground. Come on, you little box. And South Africa keeps kicking pointless. Says Hangarat and let's go the Bok. Let's go Bok. We can do this fifth try. And Springboks haven't played badly, just poor discipline. Scotland have played well. 28 minutes remaining. They got the pick and pay guys in the stands at the moment. Giving away, it looks like they're giving away groceries. They're giving away groceries, maybe. Or it might be a goodie bag of some sort, and Fussy has wasted space. It's quite harsh. He hasn't had a best game, though, which is why I was surprised that they didn't take him off for Kewan Horn. I got $5 on you, Bok. Says Demonic. Just said there, 45,000 in attendance for this game at Loftus. They're handing out budget burgers. Says Albert and overconfidence by the box going into the game. And just a bit of composure box, says Bradley. Now scrum 40 metres from their line. Scotland holding strong, or do they? It's come out the back door just. Under a lot of pressure there, Ben White, but the ball will stay on the side of the Scottish. Being told to use it. Finn Russell fires it across to the left. Now told to use it again. And pick away, handing out brandy and coke. And there's a 9 o'clock B team Rugby building for the rival store in the World Cup. Says 0 cool. Box kick attempted by Scotland. Running onto it was Upper Lelefasi, who has taken it nicely this time. Now Grant Williams away to Elric Lowe. Takes on the collision with Cummings. Now Williams crossed to Kieran Horn. Rush defence pass was close to Ford from Valimza. Kicking behind it is out on the full from Edward van der Merven. In fact, it's just bounced in the field of play. There you go. Scotland says, Alex, how many minutes left? Sorry, Hamish, those Aussie League fans. I need to be told something, says Fleshin. Currently 26 minutes remaining in this matchup. We are 54 minutes through. Yellow card is over. Yes, it is. What has happened? Scott's given us a challenge. Thanks for commentating today. Bold squad need to do some damage, says Cynthia. This has just been a good, solid performance from Scotland. I feel like maybe there was a bit of underestimation, if that's a word, from a lot of people heading into this matchup. Scotland were fired up. They did well in their game up against the Argentines last week. And they've had a pretty decent game plan in this contest. Wayne has become a channel member as well. Thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated. And it's knocked on from Scotland, though, at the back of their rolling maul. The replacements will determine the outcome. The worst case scenario here for Scotland is a scrum. And that is exactly what they're going to have. And just at the back of it, dropped simplistic error at the back from Ashman. How do you lose the ball forward while just holding it at the back of a maul, says Youngko. And a bit early, but the tide might be turning, says Hanger Rat. It does seem like in the second half, we're seeing a bit more of South Africa now. In terms of since that yellow card has expired, we've seen a couple more mistakes coming from Scotland. And South Africa will be more than happy to try and punish them for it. Definitely with this scrum here. Are we over there? Whereas Cheslin, says Sharon. Yeah, left out of the side. Just like that, no Bok, says Mel. And Jen changes reeks of arrogance and disrespect, says Cameron. Oh, another reset here. The hookers are being called over. Johan Robelaar, as well as Ewan Ashman. You need to lose some to win the big one later. South Africa going for Rugby World Cup number 5. And is this right now? It is right now. Yes, still 14-14, except we are only 55 minutes through the game rather than 57. Mbok 18 taking a rest before we meet New Zealand. This is either going to be a crazy last 25 minutes or it's going to go down to the wire. We've only had the 4 tries so far in this game. For the Nations Championship, bonus points are crucial. You need 4 or more to receive that bonus point. Whenever someone says they're just making mistakes, I don't understand what they're looking at. Our boys are making mistakes and poor discipline. Because Scotland are applying pressure, says Paul Roy. Yeah, Scotland, like I said, have had a pretty well-rounded game plan for this match. They've managed to shut down Elric Lowe there. But still 20 metres out for the line. South Africa once again going to have themselves the possession. Grant Williams goes away to the left-hand side, away to Paul de Villiers. They've still got a couple replacements that they can make here from their bench, South Africa, including Vincent Tachuka, who could be a game changer. Grant Williams off to Ben Jason Dixon. He'll be fresh after that yellow card. Pick and go again, this time from Peter Steph Toy. No penalty advantage in play just yet for the green and gold, but if Scotland make a mistake, South Africa will certainly make them pay for it. Johan Robelaar up to 7 phases in a row. Pick and go now from Ben Jason Dixon. And there is the advantage for not rolling away properly there. Scotland, do they take a 3 if it's available for them, South Africa? That's probably the big next decision, unless they score now. Pollard passes across to Valimza, gets through one, pops it up now to Kieran Horn, close to the sideline. Couldn't get the offload away. Still within the 5 metres though. Williams goes back infield to better Steph Toy. Another advantage now Now short ball, Elric Lowe bulldozes over, and the South Africans score the first points of the second half. And we have got there, do I still need to pay even if I'm paying YouTube monthly subscription? Says Rachel. I assume that's for seeing the game. Sadly, we can't show any match footage or audio on the channel whatsoever. The membership is just for the channel members who want access to those emojis and everything along those lines. And no matter the result, I'm proud of Scotland lads for their game today. We have got there, at last, says Jason and Clinical. That's the difference. Scotland didn't take their chances. Hooker been off very long, so he's injured again. He's got a head knock. He went off for the HIA. Andre Pollard, that is a man who they will be very happy to see back out there on the field. Was having a solid game before he got taken off for Kewan Horn. Got to return due to that HIA of Ethan Hooker. And that one has gone over from Pollard, 21-14 now. The scoreline between these two teams. Kudos to the Scots. Says Goodnan. And Andre's kicking remains solid as well. Or as long as he's not wearing blue, says Yanko. Finishes it off well. Eldrick Lowe, I'm relying on you guys for updates, please. I'm not live. So currently at the way it sits, it's 21-14 with the third try for South Africa. They need one more to receive that bonus point in this Nations Championship competition. I'll mention as well, we are currently sitting 2 hours away from the start of that next contest, which is going to be it's Argentina versus Wales. Pollard actually playing well. Maybe he just needs a rest in his old age. A similar age, says LB. Nice take there from Nokia. And Scotland new front row on. Also open for a knock on. That's now going to be another penalty going the way of South Africa. And here we go, guys. Here's Craig Stevens and Scotland come on. And this is where the momentum has completely changed. I told you Andre went off to go chat with Rassi, says Albert. And Pollard so solid, says Ian. Kewan Horn off the left boot. Down to the halfway line. And Kewan Horn doing tactical kicking. I think because of the fact that he's left-footed, works quite nicely. Doing the next match as well, Hamish. We certainly are going to be starting that one in around an hour 40 or an hour 50 minutes time, in fact. One out for Robillard. Taken nicely round the halfway line and the rolling maul of the Springboks yet again in play. Another advantage against Scotland. They have to be careful not to go down to 14 men in the relatively near future. This rolling maul is still marching. Now Williams plays it off the back. Goes to Pollard. Nice pass across to Kewan Horn. Skipping the man. Going out to Willemse. Cutting inwards. Offload to Edward van der Merwe. A relatively quiet game throughout this matchup, but Grant Williams on the short side. Willemse stepping back in. He is less than 5 metres out. He scores the try, and South Africa strike twice in 3 minutes to completely change the momentum of this game. And now it's the referee favouring the box, says Big Rick. And we have got there, would have loved to know what Russie said to Pollard, says Kim. And how do you keep your voice going, Hamish? I drink a little bit of water. That's about it. But we get quite lucky because the right back near the start, I used to lose my voice halfway through. But from there, he's just done. Or sorry, not he's just done, but I seem to just be able to hang on. I think this commentator is not a South African fan. Note how excited he gets when the Scots are moved closer to the score. When South Africa scores and moves to the score, he's so calm, no excitement and almost disappointed. Well, I think you better rewatch that last try, Anthony, because I think I just almost lost my head at Damian Willemse managing to score that try for the second try in the 3 minutes. We have got there, Go the Bok, who was saying something about being delusional and all that stuff. Says Kwando there. Okay, Hamish is a monster commentator full of passion, knowledge and enthusiasm. And that one has gone over from Andre Pollard as well. Now sitting 4 from 4. And this matchup, Scotland is a 60-minute team, but rugby is 80 minutes. And Hamish early wake up today and all looks, I like this as a close game. Come on, Scotland, shock the box. Yes, Hamish does the job, good man. You keep going, Hamish, says Norris there. Shut up, Anthony, says good man. And Ever Hamish is probably the most neutral commentator in the world and enthusiastic for all rugby. Says Marius, nice take there. Oh, hard landing though for Jamie Dobie. Now going back across to the right-hand side. And now this is where Scotland need to find their way back in. Hamish is an honorary South African. Says Lyle there. Now cross kick attempted. Or no, in fact it was just a pass, I believe. Out to Kyle Stain. Low tackle made by Peter Steph-Toy. I think Hamish gets excited by good rugby. Says Johan. Yeah, and to be fair, up until that 60th minute, South Africa for that second half hadn't given us a lot to get excited about. Hamish, will you marry me? Says Lola. I feel like I need to ask a few questions first, Lola. There are many good ones, of course, to ask. But follow us on the Kiwi Lads Instagram. It's a maybe. Now, Sione Tuipulotu, 40 metres out from the line. Across to the right again. We are right behind you, boys, says Talon. Great commentary as always. Hamish, keep it up, says Josiah. Thank you very much. Now going away to the right. Brian Fenter. Sorry, not Brian. That was Pierce Coleman. Now, Finn Russell. That was weird. He's tried to go for a kick. It almost looked like accidental offside there from Scotland. The ball's been knocked backwards twice. Referee does just say play on. Now back. Oh, skip pass. It's a rough one here for Scotland. They're losing metres for fun, but missed tackle from Pollard. Ball back on the inside to Kyle Rowe. Now up to the halfway line. Ben White. We have it there. Maybe there. Then there's hope. Love you, Hamish. Says Lola and penalty going the way of the South Africans. And Jason Dixon, phenomenal work in that breakdown from the man who did get yellow carded earlier on. Please marry us, says Nomsa. And also, what is the score? Score is currently 28-14 in favour of the South Africans. I don't know why they're not giving Pollard the extra 2 on the scoreboard. And my biltong tastes like biltong again. Just marry Lola. See Shane. I think once again though, we need to find out a few things about Lola. We need to find out how old she is. That's the very first one. And we need to find out if Lola is actually a female. Or else I will end up marrying some 51-year-old bloke from South Africa and get myself in some trouble. We have to there hang on to that penalty, says Fleshin. Whoever their score is 28-14, it certainly is. But yeah, they don't want to give the extra 2 for the South Africans currently, but they are leading by the 14 points. And what, says Victoria? And you can't replace class. Polly and Valimza showing their class today. Currently, we have just got a bit of a team huddle for both of these sides. With 16 minutes remaining. This is where this game is definitely made or broken for Scotland. And I see there's drinks break, says Hang a Rat. Now Q1 Horn. We'll kick this one into touch. Some decent distance on it, and the Boxer again on the onslaught. Okay, fair play, I hear it now perhaps. I was quick off the mark with them comments. Apologies, Hamish. Says Anthony, no, it's all good. Yeah, I think it was just because Scotland were having a lot of moments, maybe at the time that you popped in. But I sometimes get called too biased towards the box, so that's why it was a little bit of a surprise as well. You know what your problem is? Too fussy, says Brian. Yeah, how dare I not want to marry a 51-year-old bloke? It's bloody rude of me, isn't it? Thanks for the score update, says Runaway Bride. Now, better Steph-Toy. We're going to get this one rolling forward, and another advantage against Scotland. Someone's going from the field. It's a double blow from Pierre Brousset, or at least it should be. I can catch fish, so that's a bonus. That is a massive bonus, because I am terrible at fishing. I like the idea of fishing, but the only thing that I seem to have to do is try and unsnag my lure. And Lola is my grandfather, says Carol. We have got the bleeding pens left and right. Yeah, this is an ugly penalty count in the second half. Currently 15 minutes remaining in this matchup. And South Africa are not done yet. Commentator definitely not a fan of the Springboks. Says a shuck there. Are you sure about that? Oh, overthrown. And that bounces up for Pollard, who's really had a weird collision in that one. Grant Williams up to Jan Hendrik Wessels. Now Williams goes up there to Untatuko Machunu. That man's been phenomenal for the Sharks. Ruan Nokia moves within a couple of metres. Williams moves it away left. And now close to the line for Zachary Porthen, who can't quite get over again. Grant Williams, though, they have got a lot of big forwards who love nothing more than to score try number 5 with the bonus point already attacked. Untathuka Machunu just short of the line. Now Zachary Porthen looking for this ball. He's got to kind of dig through a few Scottish players to be able to find it. He will go at the line. He's on it. Pierre Brosset awards the try. And South Africa get their 5th. Well, sorry, I'm not supposed to like South Africa, am I? Oh, what a great try that was. Imagine if anyone just tuned in for that little half moment. And then they're like, geez, this guy's got no energy whatsoever. Hey, nobody beating these lots, says Skinny Bob. But this second half has been completely different than what we saw in the first. And still another about 12 minutes remaining on the clock. And we have there go Porthen. And also we have got there, did I not say we are dangerous in the second half, says Legendary. The ref might as well put on the shirt, says Fleshin. And also Springboks reserves looking strong. Yeah, they're digging deep at the moment. And that one's going to go over, making the score now sitting 35 points to 14. I came on earlier and Thomas F. Hamish really leans into his bot commentary, says Eugene. And Hamish and all the members, you have to love the channel and Hamish. You do such an awesome job. Top class commentary and chat, even marriage proposals. She's sweet Pete. Yeah, 35-14. The thing is, if you looked at the scoreline now, you go, okay, South Africa have been in control. But this game was 14-14 at half time. But the second half has just been insane from the South Africans. Definitely in the last about 15 minutes or so. Now away to the left break of the line though for Scotland. Passes off to Bayliss. They fire back with a try of their own, Scotland. And this game is not over yet. That was too easy in terms of that gap. And this is why the Scots didn't want to come out after half time. And South Africa all the way, says Asala there. But just caught out a little bit with a weak tackle attempt, and then Kieran Horn found himself in the 2-on-1 at the back. Now that's going to make the score 35-21. That's pretty over, Hamish says Big Rick. And go again, the box says Nomsa. And there as well, but just a good breaking run from Scott Cummings. 1 second, we'll go like that. Yes, you're allowed to favour South Africa, says Kim Coe there. They're saying they're 1 try away from the bonus point for Scotland here. Which is, of course, going to be something that is definitely on their mind. What we'll quickly do while we've got a little bit of a stoppage here, while the players are all getting organised, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, be sure to follow the Kiwi Lads Instagram. I never plug it. We comment. Well, we don't comment. We don't post on there, but we reply to all the messages. So let me know what you're thinking of that game in that Instagram messaging. I should plug it every live stream, and I always forget. Sincere condolences to Jaden's family. Says Lola there. Oh, breaking the line again for Scotland. 2 in a row. Sione Tuipulotu caught there by Jesse Creel. But South Africa seem to be playing with about 10 on the field currently, because there's line breaks everywhere at the moment for Scotland. Now pick and go, passing it across, beautiful stepping here. Kieran Horn on the outside, Bayliss pops it up. Tom Jordan cuts back in, ball on the inside to Gregor Hiddleston. They're 5 metres out from the line again, Scotland. Now Horn, he's not playing. I meant White. Still 11 minutes too on the clock. If they score now, Scotland, they get that bonus point. Oh, a big collision there. You could hear it through the referee's microphone with the shot from Vincent Tichuka. Popped up to Dempsey. Great game so far. It's been a back and forth type of contest between these two sides, which is why maybe there's still a little bit of a late tail or a late turn that can happen in this game. Oh, looking for the steal though was Untathuka Machunu. In fact, no, sorry, it was Vincent Tichuka. He's given away the penalty advantage though, according to Pierre Brosset. Now 5 metres out from the line, Scottish comeback, says Mo. Oh, delaying the pass there. Hiddleston couldn't quite decide what he wanted to do with it. Now back across, Ben White, nice offload, 5 metres from the line. I think Scotland need to fire this one out that little bit wider. A bit of a counter up from Jesse Creel. Hiddleston now with another step. Now Horn does through the dummy. He reaches out and scores. Scotland back in the game. And damn good commentary. I can't wait to watch the highlights, says Jason. Well, this last 10 minutes is going to be a highlight reel of its own. The way that this one is going. A better game, better than Poms last week, says Joe. And well, what a game, says HDB. And there you go. South Africa embarrassed by Scotland and yet again scoring another try, says Hanger Rat. But that is now the bonus point for the Scottish. They've had to work hard, like I mentioned. But going not too badly at this stage. That one's gone over. Now what the heck, says Mariska. And why can't we see anything? This is insane, says Victoria. So it's just the live commentary for the radio style. Yeah, that's good grounding from Ben White. Just got out far enough. But now 35-28. The switching off is going to ruin, or be the ruin of us. See the lack of experienced campaigners. And so Scotland, or goes Scotland. And the first time tackle, says Ian. Yeah, there's been too many easy breaks that Scotland have been able to have in the recent times. Kewan Horn ready to kick this one off for the South Africans yet again. Insane game. And we've still got 10 minutes. Across to the left-hand side. Short pop pass. Uh-oh. That looks like a knockout of Vincent Dechuka. He looks in a bad way here, and I don't think he's going to be returning for the rest of this game. But now moving it across out to Kyle Rowe. They will be playing with 14 currently, the Boks. It's not an unfamiliar situation for them, though. Another line break here for Scotland. They break through up to the halfway line looking for support, and absolutely no one with them there. The number 21, Magnus Bradbury. But Ben White pops it across to the right-hand side again. The Boks scrambling in defence, making some solid tackle. Cross kick from Tom Jordan. Goes out wide to Stain, who was too busy watching the man next to him, and he knocks the ball on at the worst possible time. And Boks need to keep up their momentum, and also whether their how's the weather. And Vincent should never wear a Boks jersey again, says Theodore. We're talking Vincent Dechuka, right? And brilliant commentating says Benita. And no, says Runaway Brides. It was close. That could have been 35-35 between the two sides there. It feels like 2016 Boks. We switch off and let teams come back. Yeah, I think that there Kyle Stain was just too focused on the man on the inside. Take that ball, Boks says run away, and of course this is going to lead to now the scrum feed for the South Africans. My heart, can he take this? Yeah, crazy. This is what we have seen throughout the last 20 minutes of this half. We'll mention again, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 100,000 and we are getting closer and closer every single stream. We are going to be back next week with some more hectic action. Still 7 minutes remaining in this fixture. Vincent Dechuka will make his way from the field. That is due to that knockout blow in the breakdown. Paul de Villiers will return. And again, that's not a terrible choice or not a terrible option to have coming back onto the field. We have there, Vincent has been our weakest link and an easy loop bowl for Scotland to attack and get closer to scoring. I don't think he's been that bad, Vincent Dechuka as a whole. I think he's also looked dangerous in the breakdowns. He's looked for the steals. You do have a new fan. My daughter, Aaron, loves your commentary. She gets as excited about the game as I now see you do. Thank you. Says Anthony there. And we have got there, Rassi picked the wrong team. Not sure what he's trying to achieve. But let us see, says Andrea. And how much time left, says Nomsa. Still another 6.5-ish minutes remaining in this matchup. South Africa out on their feet, as understandably so, with the pace and the tempo that this game has been played at throughout the 74 minutes so far. But somewhere that they are not out on their feet is the scrums. It's somewhere that they are normally able to hold strong. The new guys need experience, says Johan. And commentators, so Boks ass kisses. enough to make your piles bleed, says Phil. And oops, have everyone under threat, says Shirley. There were 6 minutes remaining. Scotland scoring the last 2 tries, bouncing back from being down by 21 to now down by 7. A draw. Someone said about it earlier on. It could actually well and truly be on the cards here between these two sides, depending on what happens next. But both have received the bonus point for this game, no matter what happens. And Scotland currently would receive 2 bonus points if this was the way that the game ended. We're hearing one of the Scottish forwards trying to fire up his front row. I think that might be someone in that front row also. Now, big push from the box. They have not got the penalty advantage. Andre Pollard almost breaking through the line. Now Williams back into the pocket to Kewan Horn. Come a little bit off the side of the boot. And it does go into touch about 40 metres out from the line now. Scotland have got another attack. Another bot, come on, says Mel. And Amish's shirt, says Joe. And the game smells of a draw, says Southgate. I need the box to win for my multi. Rassi is managing his players, especially the senior players, with the 2027 World Cup in mind, says Mandy. Now, just saying in the commentary box, it's all about the victory for Rassi in this match. And Scotland needs to score again for a draw, says Big Rig, and they have got a chance here. 40 metres out, Hiddleston throwing it into Bayliss. Thank you, Kiwi guys, for the good job, says Gavin. How many minutes still? 4.5 minutes remaining in this contest now. Both sides still have a chance of being able to do something throughout these closing moments of the game. Ben White, he's played the full 80 minutes almost here. Now passed across to the left-hand side. I will mention he had to. They didn't have a replacement halfback in this contest. Now White going back. Sione Tuipulotu breaking through again. Outpacing De Villiers, but tackled by Apalele Fasi. De Villiers in the breakdown. Loses the footing. Now Hiddleston had the support on his shoulder of Stafford McDowell. Decides against popping it up. Russell delays the wide cutout pass, but then goes straight into touch with it. And the Boks have got the line out. Scotland deserves something from this, says Ronnie. We have got there, the Boks are lazy, says Kirsten. Go the Bok, says Carol in there too. But Sione Tuipulotu, if they were somehow to win this game, it would definitely be because of what that man's been able to do out there in that number 12 jersey. And try for the Bok, try box, says Mel. And cover the box, says Cheryl. And Scott's given it everything, says Ruth. Yeah, this has been a game to remember between these two sides. And Boks look very ordinary, says Q Physics. With Scotland pushing us this hard, it's not good luck for the All Blacks in coming series. Concerning to me, if Scotland pushes this hard, New Zealand will no doubt run over us, says Eugene. And Sione standing up. And also we have there Rassi saving for the 3 upcoming New Zealand games, but might backfire, says World Champs twice. Sia Corlisi watching on alongside Franco Mostert. A couple men are on the injury list currently. And Scotland obviously need a quick, crafty discount burger, says Adam. And just showing a highlight reel of Sione Tuipulotu. Once again, great commentary, says Digital Sphere. Thank you very much. We have got this bit of a stoppage. I will mention once again, anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are close to 82,500. We're only 150 away. So let's see if we can get there before this play gets back underway. It is free to subscribe, and you will be able to get notified when we do have the videos coming up on the channel. We do the lineup announcements for the Springboks, as well as, of course, all the international rugby that has taken place. Line out throw taken now by Ruan Nokia. No advantage at the moment against the Scottish, and that is the way that they needed to stay, although this one has rolled around. There's the advantage against Scotland yet again. Now back across to the right. Andre Pollard grubbers it. Jesse Creel chasing after the ball. Bumps through one. Steps through another. Jesse Creel to run it in the 77th minute for the Boks. And one mistake there. And all of a sudden the scoreboard looks very different. If you're there, Sione Tuipulotu is genuinely world class, and also go the Bok in there. And also wherever they well done the Boks, says Lola Adams in there too. But Jesse Creel, the man who manages to score in the closing moments of this game. And also subscribe. This is a cool channel. Says won't believe everything there. Yeah, we have got plenty more coming up in the near future. But now the shot clock. It's Kewan Horn this time who will be taking the kick. Now, I believe Andre Pollard is actually still out there on the field. So an interesting choice to give Kewan the tee. Okay, the check is all clear. And we have got there Jesse, my little angry bird. And it's kicked over from Kewan Horn as well, making the score 42-28. Still just the 2 minutes remaining now between these two sides. So we go like that and like that. You want my score of Springboks by 15 now isn't looking too bad, even though maybe this doesn't feel like the accurate scoreline. That was a hard landing for Ben Jason Dixon. He got his tailbone rearranged there on the way down. Now, currently sitting with 90 seconds remaining on the clock. Scotland can still receive 2 bonus points if they are able to get themselves one more converted try. Grant Williams kicks it down the field. Apalili Fasi chasing, doesn't quite make the ground. Nice step there from Tom Jordan, who's fresh since making his way off of the Scottish bench. Now away to the left-hand side. Oh, that was a hard collision for Eldrick Lowe. Took a shot to the face. Finn Russell, directional change there. Flicks it on the inside. Back to Tom Jordan, who sits down the opposition. Russell hangs on. Another offload up to Sutherland for his 50th match. Hamish, I always do a great job. Yes, I'll marry you, says Nomsa there. And now the 50 seconds remaining on the clock. Looking for the steal was Ben Jason Dixon. Oh, he's just kicked a player in the face on the ground. I don't think he meant to. Was just trying to buck his way out of there. Another line break for the Scottish. It's the big number 19 who has ended up with possession. Damien Valimza slowing him down. Oh, knock on there. Initially, it looked like the referee was giving a penalty advantage to Scotland, but then pulled out and gave it to South Africa instead with the final moments of this game with the ball in hand. We have got there, what is the score currently? The score is 42-28 in favour of the South Africans. Well done, Hamish, you predicted the 15 points. Yeah, although I think that South Africa, if they win a scrum penalty, they'll go for one last attack here. Great intensity in the second half, says Log. Yeah, really fast-paced, entertaining game. We're not televising these games because it would be illegal. If I showed any match footage or audio, we get taken straight off YouTube with a copyright strike, banned for 3 months, potentially sued, and then also maybe go to jail, which wouldn't be that fun. We have there a better team, says Cal Mack. The 80-minute siren has just sounded as well. I see you at our wedding later, says Lola. I don't even think you follow the Kiwi Lads Instagram though, Lola. So how are we supposed to know where I'm supposed to be getting married? Let's go, the boys, says Digital there. And great win by the Box B and C team over Scotland, says Ian. And Hamish is Scottish. You Scottish? Not really. I don't even think there's a lot of percentage of me that is Scottish. Maybe like way down the line. But my parents didn't name me Hamish because it was Scottish. They named me Hamish because apparently I look like a Hamish. So that's what happened. Thank you, Scotland, for trying, says the bar there. And out of all the games, which team do you see as a leader in talent? Says Robert, and well done, Hamish. And gotcha, Hamish, says Carol there. We have got from Johan. That's not a very nice word, Johan. I actually know that word. But now it's going to be a scrum here for South Africa. And nice commentary, mate. Sky needs to make you join the team, but the advantage now in play. Grant Williams trying to go through. And the Box won't be done yet. I feel like they'll be looking for a 21-point victory. Are we having there, low Hamish? Is that a good or a bad thing? In terms of the fact that I know the word, or? And we have got there good commentary. Hamish says Nishi in there. But no, they will kick this one into touch the Box. They win by the 14 points. And South Africa, in what was a crazy 80 minutes of rugby, 42 points to 28, the victory for the Box. And thank you, great commentary, appreciate it. Says Digital there, thanks, Hamish, says Anita. And we have there, Sadi Rasi, you know better, says Ian. And also Hamish, my brother Angus said, And that if you marry him, he will change his name to Agnes and swap his kilt for a skirt, says Hink. And then Hamish says, Ty Smith, thanks for your spot on commentary, Hamish. And shot a lot, Hamish. Says Jason in there too. But yeah, anyone who is new, like I said, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're almost at the 82,500. Alongside that, if you haven't already, be sure to follow the Kiwi Lads Instagram. Let us know your thoughts about this game. Send us a message. Say what you thought of it. And yeah, we got another game just around the corner. That'll be Wales versus Argentina. It should certainly be, hopefully, relatively close. I speak Afrikaans, Hamish? No, but I know all the swear words because I've been called them all. So I'm aware of what they all mean. But yeah. Yeah, I know that one's not a good one. We have got the donation there. Don't care if we made 10 changes. Not good enough, says Jaden. What a game in commentary, says Joe Mann. And also thanks, Hamish. Good commentary, says Pierre. Thank you very much. And I got to give Scotland their due. They were brilliant. And Creel walking around with a bit of a limp at the moment. Great man. Great commentary as always, says Johan. And also, we love you, Bok. Says Leighton, and see you later. Says Flesh in there. But yeah, crazy game. And we are now going to be doing our review of this matchup. That is going to be taking place, hopefully, on the channel in about 30 minutes' time. The video will come out. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Follow us on the old Kiwi Lads Instagram. 5:30 a.m. here in New Zealand, but we're still going strong for the next game that is going to be starting up in around an hour and 20 minutes time. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all for the next one.